guys, listen up. As you get older, the best way to continue to look young, exuberant, and vibrant is to continue to take care of your skin. That's why I'm excited to have Teej Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. You heard me talk about them before, and you're going to continue to hear me talk about them because I believe in their products and the positive impact that they have on every man's life. Teej Hanley makes taking care of your skin so easy. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. Lapeef family, I must admit, skincare wasn't always something I always focused on, but since I started using this system, I've seen improvements in the way my skin looks and feels. And you don't have to take my word for it. They have over 5,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from around the world. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer, and a PM moisturizer. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click that first link in the description and you'll get 30% off your first box plus the free gift. Seriously, that's an amazing deal. Even though it's too early, as I often say, it's never too late. Click that link and get started today. Let's go, Tom. What's going on, family? Welcome to King Talk on the Lapeef Network. Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. We got Sweeney, Sir Hale, Shannon Rawls, Trey Smooth, Pink in the Basement, Sean Antonio, B. Madden, Purple Field, Pod, me, myself, and Lapeef JR. Welcome to King Talk on the Lapeef Network. What's going on, family? What's going on? How y'all doing?
Sup?
Blessing.
What's good, Gerald? What's good? What's good, brothers?
What's good, man? What's good?
What's good? What's good?
Looking
Good
dapper there. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, can you know? Thank you and none.
I was trying to give a manly thing. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it.
Oh, okay. I didn't even
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good to see you, brothers, again, man. Let me see who we got in the chat before we get started. We got Hink in the chat. Hold on, brother Hink.
What's happening, big brother? You good today?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm blessed. I woke up this morning. We got Joe Lee in the chat. Easy, formerly Baby Zaddy. Shout out to all the Green Gang. Dale Matthew, I see you want to become part of the Green Gang. Click that link that's pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to the sponsor again, Teej Hanley, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men, 30% off along with a free gift. That link is in the description. Feel the Teej. As I always say, go ahead and get that Teej pack. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. That is welcome over here as well. With that being said, y'all ready for a great show?
Ready to get
it? You're all ready.
Okay, here we go. Let's dive into our first topic, which is keep people out your game room. Game room meaning your business. Let me go ahead and play this clip.
Yourself tactfully, and a part of tactfully is keep people out of your game room. Your game room meaning your plans, your mind, what's going on in your mind, how you feel. That's what we call game room. Everybody don't have to know how you feel. Everybody don't have to know what's on your fucking mind. You don't have to wear this shit on your fucking sleeve. That makes you an easy target. People know how to come at you. People are strategizing and plotting on bringing you down. And the more they know, the easier it is for them to, but it's easy because the way you express yourself. Every time you get mad, you're saying everything, you know about everything. You got an opinion on every fucking thing. You got an opinion on every fucking body. You easily moved. You just wear your shit all over the place. You're expressing yourself, right? Cool. But you're not doing it in a tactful way. And all you're doing is exposing yourself and making the target on your back a lot bigger. And you're making it easier for people to do what they need to do.
In other words, you're sloppy with your emotions, right? Keep people out your game room, your business. What are your thoughts about that? I'm gonna go ahead and start with you first, Trey Smooth.
All right. There's definitely some truth that when you allow people to get into your mind, it's the easiest way to give your strategy away. There's so many reasons to to sometimes just be silent, right? As far as wearing your heart on your sleeve, a lot of people use that against you. You just have to sometimes keep some thoughts to yourself, especially your weaknesses, because people will harp on that and actually uh, strategize against you. So, yeah, me personally, I definitely don't do that. Whatever I got on my mind, I deal with it as a man. I feel like it's good for men to internalize a lot of their issues. If some people you can trust to help you, but you have to be very careful. Unless it's people that have really proven themselves over time, I don't allow people to get into my business at all. It works with men and women, in my opinion.
All right. So when things are getting up under your skin, when you are irritated and frustrated, like how do you express that? You just keep it to yourself.
I'm gonna tell you. No, what I normally do, I don't let things bother me, man. Like it's just about working on the strategy and having a laser focus on your goals. So there are some things about if I sat there and think about all of the stress and everything that I do with and how much pressures there are in life, I don't even know what I would do with myself. So what I do is I handle. I worry about what I can control. I do the best to get out of situations, but I never let it get to me. You just put it to the side. All right, this is what I'm gonna deal with. You start to compartmentalize, and you deal with it in the most positive manner possible. So there's positive things you could do as a man. You could sit there, you can work out. For me, it's being productive. I never really stop to think. Right, only time that I'm in my thought is when I'm strategizing. Even if I'm faced with some type of an issue, then I'm just thinking about how I'm going to resolve it. But to focus on it, to harp on it, to let it get me down, or to put that on other people. And that's another thing. I just don't like to give pressures to anyone around me, right? Whether it be my wife, whether it be my people's. If it's a problem that I know that I can deal with, then I'm just going to probably keep it to myself and just figure out a way to get out of the situation on my own. But letting people know, it's just, I feel like it's putting extra pressure on them because I understand people have their own issues and there are some things you can talk about. But if that person is not there to help you directly, then I don't see a point in expressing it. And as far as complaining, I never had that mentality as a grown man. You know what I mean? As a child, sure, you might think like that. But as a man, we supposed to be problem solvers. So when we're faced with issues, we have to solve it on our own. If you have people that are productive that can help you, that's one thing. But for the most part, any situation that I get myself into, I manage to get away out of it.
Okay. I just got one more question, and some of the men can chime in on this as well. So let's say your wife says, if there's anything going wrong, I want you to let me know. Are you letting her know, or are you still keeping certain things away from her if it doesn't? I'm not talking about nothing sneaky and nothing like that, but things that you deem for her not to have to worry about it. I got it. Do you still tell her, or do you just keep it to yourself?
If it's a situation that I can handle, a lot of times I don't, and that could be looked at as good or bad, but I try not to add any additional stress to her. Honest with most things, but as far as like things that I know, like, all right, look, I'm gonna handle this. I know I can fix it. Like if it was a financial issue or something, then yeah, I'm gonna. At me as a man, I would just want to take care of that. And some of that could be just ego, right? But a lot of that is not also wanting to put that stress on my wife. You know what I mean? So if it's a situation that I feel like I could maneuver out of, then I'm just gonna go ahead and handle that.
All right. I'm gonna go to Sean, then Sweeney. Sean, Antonio, what are your thoughts, sir? Keeping people out your game room.
Man, I think it's really important. What I realize is that people have the ability to influence thought. They have the ability to plant seeds, that would normally be grown or cultivated there. For instance, with me being an entrepreneur, depending on who you're telling your thoughts to or your plans to, it can plant seeds of doubt. And for y'all who are entrepreneurs, you know that those seeds of doubt, they can at some point come back to haunt you because they can grow at some point. So just for me personally, what I figured out is that number one, I don't need to keep running my thoughts by people, even my ideas, because they were given to me for a reason. I learned number two, don't wait for other people's validations with your thoughts, with your dreams, and things like that. And when I got to the point where I could kind of master those, I feel like I was in a better place as an entrepreneur.
Sweeney, it's on you.
As far as the topic, I'm in agreement with Trev and Sean. I wouldn't necessarily say keep people out of your game room, but make sure you're selective on who you allow into your game room, more so than anything, because there is strength in numbers to a degree. There is strength in being able to bounce ideas off of people. There's strength in being able to have somebody to lean on when you need them. So, you know what I mean? So you got to be vocal at some point about things that's going on your mind and everything. But yeah, I definitely would say that you should most definitely be careful about who you speak to and who you let into your business, because there are a lot of people out there that want to see you fail. Well, there are people out there that want to see you fail. I ain't gonna say there's a lot of people. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't too many people give a damn about you anyway. But yeah, I think keep shit to yourself unless there's and find the right people to put around you to even talk about it.
All right. B. Madden, what are your thoughts about it, sir?
Yeah, so honestly, I feel like collaboration does help when it comes to one. As an entrepreneur, you need people that you can lean on, that you trust. Maybe other entrepreneurs, maybe in different fields and whatnot. I'm a big believer that you keep your circle small already. You keep your circle tight. So you gain inspiration, from the strangest places, from the most random things. I believe you should have a couple people that's close to you that you can bounce ideas around with. But you never truly reveal your full plan with anybody. That's just how I move. That's just how I see it. Everybody doesn't need to know what you think. Everybody doesn't need to know your next chess move. Period. I think that's just a man thing in general. You have to protect some of the things that are most valuable to you, whether those are your ideas, whether that's your next move, whether it's your career move, or what have you. Sometimes your partner, sometimes your woman is that confidant person for you. Is that person that you do get to bounce ideas with sometimes. But I'm a big believer that you don't need to put all of your burdens on a woman. You don't need to put all of your business on a woman, all that responsibility. Pressure's made for shoulders, not for hips. So you might, if she can help or if she can support you either emotionally or in whatever her function is in your relationship, she can help, then I would reveal some of that. But aside from that, I wouldn't. And that's where I'm on.
All right. I'm gonna go to you, Jay Stanza. What are your thoughts on it, man? Keep people out your game room business.
Yeah, I agree. I think real G's move in silence. I keep everybody on a need to know basis. Even my homies, I just let people know what I want them to know. Like I said, keep it brief. Even with the ladies, I don't pillow talk. I don't do none of that. I don't tell none of my personal business. Like I said, need to know. In terms of if I was married, would I let my wife know about all my problems? Depends. If I lost my job, would I tell her? Hell no, I would not tell her that. I would be outside trying to find a job till I find one. I wouldn't let her know. Am I going to jail tomorrow? I'll probably tell her so she know why I'm missing. But like I said, I keep everybody on need to know basis. I keep my circle small. I don't do no pillow talking. Real shit. I land on that.
All right. You got Young Bull in there. What's going on, Purple Pill? What are your thoughts about it, sir? Keep people out your game room.
I agree with a lot of some of the other guys. The big thing is, like, if you can't talk to people about like your business, you have the wrong people around you. You don't have a good close circle of 3, 4, 5 guys. And like, if you have a good close circle of 3, 4, 5 guys that are good entrepreneurs, y'all can talk. And like I talk on the phone sometimes for hours with some of my boys. Like in my business that I'm building, everything is with my boys. We have to talk constantly about stuff to make sure that we're doing things correctly and we're moving right. We all are taking sacrifices, so we all need to be talking like as much as we can to make sure we're building stuff correctly. So I really think that you have to talk all your business with a small select few men. You just need to build that group of men very strong. I always say there's like, it's like a orbit like around the sun, you know, like there's like planets that are closer to it, and those are like the people who you're going to tell your business to, you know, like those really close people. And then you got your associates on the outside, and then like there's another layer of people, and then like on the very outside is the people that you might talk to but you really don't want to fuck with, you know. But you got to have these different layers of like friends and business associates and stuff like that. But that inner layer, that like closest one, yeah, like you need to talk to them all the fucking time, I think, about all your problems too, so y'all can like all be on the same path of, you know, greatness on your purpose.
You know, real quick, I wanna jump back on what Purple just said. I think it's really important that we really highlight that you have different friends in different circles for different reasons. And again, I'm not a proponent for telling all my business to my boys, all my problems to my boys. You starting to sound like someone that got problems all the time. And one thing about us men is that we're already burdened enough with, you know, trying to fix all of our own issues, problems, not even including the people that we're responsible for. But now we got to sit here and figure out all your problems too. That's a lot. You know, I think you have to be real strategic in who you pick and choose certain things, problems or issues to include. You know, I have a couple friends that are entrepreneur friends. You know, if I need brainstorming ideas and stuff, I talk to them, you know. But if I have other relationship issues or other problems with that, I have my other close friends that they're not in that, you know, entrepreneur realm, that have regular 9-to-5 jobs, or there's different type of friends, or they're friends I've had since college or what have you. And they understand my dating profile a little bit better. They understand what type of ladies I like. So it's a different kind of conversation. So I put one thing here, but they'll never know the chess moves that I make over in the business world. You see what I'm saying? So I think you have to really be specific and pick and choose which friends you tell what, and they got to be close enough to you. They got to be tight enough to you to where you feel that level of trust, and that they've already been tried and tested over the years. They already have been. You know, if you're talking about new friends and stuff, you know, you gotta see who you're really dealing with. Don't tell them anything that you don't want nobody else to know. And that's where I stand on that.
All right. Sir Hale, what are your thoughts about it, sir?
I think the brothers said it pretty well. It's just one thing that I wanted to add. So the brothers talked about be careful of what you share, be careful of who you share it with. And then the other part I would say is be careful when you share stuff. I think that sometimes we overshare stuff before we took time to really think about it. And I think to be man's point, it can make it look like you are dependent on other people to do the thinking for you. So it's okay to have a community. We all need that. But I think a lot of men today, I can't say for older men, but it's a lot of younger men, like they don't have enough patience with themselves to think through something themselves, right? And I think that's a problem. I was watching one of my favorite movies, 300. You guys know that. I was watching it Saturday, and when King Leonidas was, you know, he was a kid, you know, he had to go through rigorous training, and one of those that training was he had to go out into like this, you know, it was cold and it was icy, and you know he was getting ready to fight this animal, and he was out there by himself. He had to figure all the training that he got. He had to be in a position to practice it. He couldn't rely on anybody. Either he was going to win or he was going to lose. Either way, it was on him. I think this is every man needs to have that, right? You rely on everybody. You never get to the point where you put to practice all the stuff you know, and you become a burden to people, whether people tell you this or not. Even if it's your best boy or your girl, if you don't have the capacity to think through stuff yourself and you are too quick to rely on people, I think that's problematic. And then the other part is it sets a perception of you, right? So people will still love you, people will still like you, but it sets a perception that, you know, when you see this, look at this Negro coming around, you know, he always got issues. So it makes you look a certain way. So it's be careful of what you share, who you share with, and then careful of when you share it.
All right, Shan, what are your thoughts about it?
Tell your business. Tell your business. Allow people in your game room. The whole mind your business, mind the business that pays you, the real G's move inside. That was all poor people came up with that. People with poor discernment came up with, keeping my. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna show you how I move. I ain't gonna talk about it. Chapter 10, book Think and Grow Rich: The Power of the Mastermind. What a mastermind is, and I wrote it right here, is a coordination of thought and effort in spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. I'm not sure how many of you guys have ever been in a mastermind group, not the homie group, not a business mixer, but a real mastermind group where you guys typically pay money every month. And there's very expensive ones. There's ones that I've been invited to that I just couldn't afford, $10,000 a month. There's other ones that's just $1,000 a month. There's mastermind groups out there where you absolutely let everybody in your game room. You absolutely talk about everything that you're doing. And when you got people that's saying keep it all to yourself and just make your moves and move in silence and let your work show. That comes from people who really don't have shit going on and they have an empty head and they don't have anything to talk about. So they act like they got a lot going on in their head. And then, year after year, they're in development. They in the works. They in planning. They in the pre-production stage. So they're all and then they sidetracked. Now they doing something else. You got friends. Y'all got homies like that. But the reality is they just don't have shit going on in their head. But so then, and a lot of people are like that. And so they created this trope of just keep shit private. And then the discernment part, as I was saying, some people talk to the wrong people. Sweeney, Purple Pill, B. Madden, they nailed it. It's not so much keep your shit private. Who are you around? Like some people want to be so friendly and be a social butterfly and got a whole lot of people and a lot of friends and everywhere they go, they know people. That's not necessary, especially for a stoic man, especially for men. You only need a couple people to cover all the bases that you need in life. Couple solid people. The people that's solid in your life, you can tell them anything. In fact, they should know much. What if something happens to you? They should know the password to the safe. They should know how to get into your Gmail. They should know how to access. There should be no problem. Everybody trying to figure out how to get in your iPhone. They should know where your crypto is. They should know the private keys. These are people that you trust. Now, if you don't have those people, then that's what you need to pay attention to. But trying to keep people out of your business, that's not necessary. In fact, let people into your business, because a mastermind, a group of 2 people or more, according to the book Think and Grow Rich, you must meet at least twice a week. Or maybe it said once a week, but I'm going to say twice a week. Because iron sharpens iron. And how can you sharpen your iron if you're keeping everything bottled up? Because you feel that the Lord gave you the message and you're supposed to just figure this out all by yourself. Nobody figures it out by themselves. Trust me, you guys. If we're talking about success in life, you cannot figure it out all alone. It just doesn't happen. Business, absolutely. I teach business. Let people in. It's like a group of batteries, electric batteries. How much power do you get when you group a bunch of batteries together versus one battery that's standing all alone? So to those that, and this is just Shan, to those that believe that you should just keep it all private and, just real G's move in silence. No. And I was taught that. And I used to repeat that junk until I realized that after maybe year 10 of being, because I started my company officially June 1st, 1999. That's when I started Rawls Enterprises. I filed in here in LA. But I had been doing business even before 99. And it took, after 10 years, I realized, wait a minute, man. I've been getting wrong information, 7 streams of income. And I've heard it all, you guys. Everything that you guys have heard, I've either said it myself, taught it, wrote it, and certainly repeated it. And now I'm realizing a lot of that was bullshit, and a lot of it was to keep people down, and it sounded good. It's trust me, I know it sounds good, but it's not. It's to actually keep you oppressed, believe it or not, and to make sure that you are mediocre and you live in mediocrity and you make average salary and everybody's average. And the secrets nobody really wants to tell. One of the secrets is, no, you don't keep it all bottled up. One of the secrets is you let people into your game room. Who you let in your game room makes all the difference.
All right, go ahead, brother Hink. It's good stuff, Ross.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess I'm a little confused. I thought we was talking about a relationship, but it sounds like we talk about a little bit of everything. But okay, I'm gonna touch on both. Then I'm not letting everybody in me and my ladies' relationship. It's a circle of 2, and nobody's breaking that circle. So it means your auntie, your sister, your mammy, your cousin, your grandmama. It's none of your goddamn business what we're going through. So I had to share with my lady. It's not for everybody to know what our relationship is doing. As long as the most important people in our family, who's our kids, know what's up, everybody else will find out when we want them to find out. I'm not telling you nothing about what's going on in our relationship. But as far as business, I don't have no problem with sharing anything about me. Anything that I deal with, that I've got going on, because I use that method to relate with the kids, with the young guys that I mentor and I talk to. That's how I'm able to get in with them and talk to them, because I'm honest and straightforward with them. They look at me like, I know Hink's a whole book, so I chop it up and share everything with them. So I don't have no problem with sharing it with them. Now, with the average person, now probably more than likely not, unless it's something I went through and I dealt with, and I got canceled my therapy or whatever the case may be, and I'm comfortable with sharing it with. Yeah, I wouldn't share it if I wasn't comfortable sharing it. I don't have no problem with that. But as far as young Stanza, man, if you get fired, you don't let your wife know you got some different set of issues, big brother. You better let your wife know that can affect your income and paying rent or house payment if you get one. So yeah, let them know you got fired, man.
I just want to clarify something in terms of the business. When I say real G's move with silence, I'm talking about people who are on my level. Like, if it's somebody who's higher above me, like a Jay-Z, a Grant Cardone, one of y'all who doing better than me in business, all right, I'll run it by you. But people on my level, because I'm big on taking my idea. I'm big on somebody stealing my shit and running off with it. Because like I said, I do content creation. I'm hesitant who I'm going to tell my next idea to, because they might take my shit, run off with it. Now they viral. So like I said, I'm big on that. So if it's somebody who's ahead of me who has more knowledge of a certain area, I'll run it by them. But somebody who's on my level with me, I'm very hesitant on that shit, just to be clear.
Well, I think that's why he said, like, there's certain individuals you don't let everybody know. Somebody you trust and believe and you rely on, and they wouldn't do you like that. That's probably what they talk about, sharing with that individual. You don't run it by like all of us in this group, and then all of a sudden Shan take your goddamn idea. He's doing it the next day where you had planned for next week. Now you don't do that. Find somebody who you can trust and believe in, and is gonna get your back. You know what I'm saying? So
I think we just got to do it in the fashion of like tiers, like a tier system. So you have a tier of your core group who, let's say you have anywhere from 3 to 5 friends or so who you can really build with, people who you've already vetted, people who you trust over several years. That's your core group, right? And I don't feel like there should be any limitations, because at that point, nobody's judging each other or anything else. But then you have more of an extended group where we would go for like associates, right? Where you can exchange certain business ideas and build off each other. But then you have the outside group. So back to what Jay Stanza was saying, I'm sure that's the main reason why you wouldn't want to share a lot, because people do absolutely steal ideas Thankfully, it hasn't happened to me personally, but I know plenty of people who have talked with others about business strategies or just certain things that they were going to do. Definitely content creation. And you'll watch the person who you talked about it with execute it for you could. And that could really mess the game up for you. I'm sure you probably had that happen to you, Jay Stanza.
You know something I'm thinking of? I think what Jay Stanza says, to those of us who are older, we understand that you need people. Like, you know, it sounds real good, keep it yourself. But I think Jay Stanza speaks to what actually happens. So we're speaking to how it should be. You should have a mastermind, some people you can trust. But in real life, most of us have been burned before, right? In some area. And once you get burned by somebody you thought was your friend, in some ways, if you don't deal with it, it can't change your perspective. And so to that point, I understand Jay Stanza. But I do think it goes back to two things. One, it's about having the right friends. And then it's about when you start sharing stuff. I think what happens so often, like a lot of people who aren't used to having people long term, as soon as you meet somebody and they show interest and you guys, there's some chemistry, you guys relate, you make them too deep of a friend without having the history to back that up. And we start pouring in too much too soon. And so I think that our real friendships, they take years to develop. And over time, you share stuff and you don't do it all up front. But I think what Jay Stanza is coming from is men who've had friends, or we thought we had friends, and we got burned by them.
One more thing in terms of the with Hank, if you want to tell your wife that you got fired, that's cool. I'm just trying to prevent men from getting that, for her lighting that fire under your ass when you tell her, because you know that's coming. She finna hit you with that full court press. You better find that job quick. That's the reality of the situation. I mean, she gonna take that sand timer and turn it over, and you better have a job by that time that last grain of sand come down. That's just the reality of the situation. So I'm trying to prevent men from getting that fire lit under your ass in your own house. Real shit.
No, so what are you gonna tell her? You pretty much gonna lie to the woman while you want it and out, both to be at work.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my bag up. I'm not gonna tell shit.
God damn.
No, hey, I wanted to say, Stanza.
It sounds like he's just buying time. It sounds like he's just buying time, Jay Stanza.
That's not a good idea.
By time. That's the reality. If you married,
I get it.
Provider, that's the reality of the situation. Like, if you married, go home and say, hey, baby, I lost my job today. She gonna hit you with, all right, we're gonna figure it out. But she gonna go in the other room and she gonna be, damn, what we about to do? She might call her homegirl. This dude lost his job today. I'm telling y'all how it goes. That's the reality.
If your woman does all that,
you with the wrong woman anyway. If she doing all that,
you with the wrong one.
Does that? That's bad. You look her, dog. Let me tell you this: you should be able to tell your woman you lost your job, and she should be able to understand it and sympathize with you, and look to the point where she might have some insight on some other jobs.
Come here.
So why not let her know? I mean, you're gonna go out in front every day like you actually going to work, but then when that check's supposed to hit that bank, that deposit, it ain't nothing there. When it's time for rent due, what you gonna do?
No, she gonna sympathize with you, but she gonna light that fire under your ass. You better not be playing 2K on the couch. You better be out there doing something.
I don't need a woman to light a fire under me. I'm a man. A woman doesn't move me. I move myself. A woman doesn't move anything I do.
I'm just saying,
I do what I do because I'm a man, and because I don't like being broke. I'm not going to be poor again. I've been poor. I'm never going back. So I'm gonna do what I got to do. If that means that same day I got fired, I'm out there already on LinkedIn, on Indeed, at the unemployment, whatever I got to do to get a job. I'm calling the boys. Hey man, you got an opportunity where you at? Just for a short time basis. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. If that means I go out to work with my boy who got a lawn service, I'll go out there and do it. Put me on the weed.
If you got a good chick, I do feel like she would probably hold it down. I know me personally, if something came up that major where I was like a loose employment, I would be like, yo, it's grind time. And she gonna put the cape on and grind it out with me. You know what I'm saying? So she would go and get that job too. And I'm working whatever until I could get there, because she can help organize. And then she knows, okay, well, I gotta spend differently. Okay, we're gonna have to improvise. Because it is a team effort. So if you got a good chick, she's gonna ride or die. She ain't with you for the bread. And if you don't have to let her know about stress, cool. But certain things like losing your job, I do feel like it's extreme, because now you're gonna have to be on you got to be on my program. I always feel like a woman should be on your program, right? And if it's like, yo, we ain't got nothing right now, we gonna have to, it's grind season. I need my lady to be like, okay, it's grind time. So she gonna be helping me in every way, whether it's working in addition to whatever I'm doing in the meantime, spending differently, and then just managing the money better just because of the situation until we get back right.
So I was gonna say, go ahead, sir.
I was gonna say, Jay Stanza, you are absolutely 100,000% wrong on this one. You need to listen to older men. So when you get older and you got a wife and kids, it ain't just the job. You got some insurance, and if that job is out and you ain't got no more insurance, you got appointments and stuff to make. That's going to affect you and the kids. So this is an opportunity to humble yourself and be like, babe, here's what happened, but here's what I'm doing now. Every woman's going to panic a little bit. But when you show that you didn't just lose it and then you crying, and then now you got all your boys over sympathizing with you, y'all got Kleenexes, listening to, to sad music, right? No, you tell the babe, I lost the job, but I've already got 3 more applications in. If you know something, let me know as well. I'll do whatever I got to do to make sure we're good. But you got to tell your wife about that, because it's not just the job. It's insurance. If you guys are investing, it's all kind of other stuff. So listen to the older men on this one.
You have a plan.
Hold on, I'm big on keeping women on a need to know basis. If it's a problem I can handle on my own, I'd rather do that.
This is your wife. This ain't no
your wife. We're talking about your wife.
Either way, it's the same thing. Either way,
no, it's not,
if I can handle it myself and keep her from coming in my world with my problems, I'd rather keep it like that.
Now she needs
but y'all have the same world though. Y'all have the same world.
Your problems. Because your problems affect her.
Well, women don't know how to handle what we going through.
Well, they may not know how to handle, but doesn't mean she doesn't need to know that you lost your job or that you was laid off, or you know what I'm saying, whatever the case. Are you going through a deep depression? She needs to know that so she can approach you. I mean, you never know what's going on with you. I mean, you could be at a point where she's like, what's wrong with you? And something really wrong, but you ain't sure that you ain't let her know. So she thinking everything's good. She's going her spending and still spending like the income is still the same. All of a sudden it's not. What are you going to do?
You got to communicate with the woman. You got to communicate with your woman.
Now, if you lose your job as a man, and you looking for a job, let's say you're not finding no job. How long you think your wife giving you to find a job?
See, Jay says, I think the issue you're coming from.
I don't need no woman to motivate me. Yeah, I'm not going to be in a house playing PlayStation and game and all that if I ain't got no goddamn job. I feel like a goddamn loser.
I agree, but let's say you trying your best. You doing the resume. You doing everything.
I don't have time to play games.
You're not playing games. No, you out and about looking for a job. Let's say you still can't find a job. How long your wife thinks?
But you talking about playing the PlayStation? I ain't got time for that. I'm online. I'm online every hour trying to find this.
I'm not saying that you playing PlayStation. I'm saying you out and
about. Hold on. I hear you. I hear you, Jay.
How long you think your wife gonna give you to get your shit together? You depressed? You got all that. How long she gonna be like, all right, you depressed? I got you, babe. You depressed? I'm gonna carry the slack. How long that gonna last? Be real.
Essentially, what you're getting at is you're trying to determine how ride or die your wife is what you're getting at. And that's a personal issue, because you got that comes to like how well you choose.
Yeah, but it's different. Now I'm gonna tell you, I feel like he's in a little bit of a lower age group, and I'm familiar with a lot of these women in that lower age group. So it's different. It's not the same type of women he has access to. If he's trying to vet a woman at his age, he's not going to have the same selections. It's not so many wholesome women that's going to be down for like how your wife, my wife might be. It's different. As you get lower in age, the women are worse. Not to say you can't find a good woman, but it's a lot harder. And that's probably not his personal experience, because it's slim pickings out here to find a legit woman that's really going to be understanding that. Like, that's for real. It's the dating pool down there is straight trash. We talk about millennials and lower Gen Z, especially. Get it. Yeah. You can forget about it.
I'm gonna say this.
Forget about it.
I'm gonna say this. If you don't tell your wife about you losing your job, you're gonna run into it. I guarantee you that she'll speed that clock up a whole lot fast on you, because she's not in the know. She's doing things normal. Next thing you know, like Sir Hill said, she goes to the doctor and She gives the insurance card, and the card doesn't. The insurance is off. She goes and swipes the debit card, and nothing's there. So now she has to come back to you and ask you questions, and she about to find out now that you lost your job 3 weeks ago. So it should.
Now you become
if you
a liar.
marry a woman,
now you become a liar. That's the
right.
issue when it comes to her. You become a liar because she can't trust you. If her livelihood and her world is dependent upon yours, she is in your boat, y'all in the same boat, and you don't communicate that, she's gonna take that as distrust. She's gonna take that as you don't trust me, you don't love me, you don't care about me, you don't think I'm down for you. It's gonna be you're gonna be worse off. I guarantee. I'm not married, haven't been married, but I know that about women. You're gonna be worse off if you don't communicate that, because communication is everything when it comes to big situations like that. You can't hide that. You can't remedy that.
I got a question for Trey real quick, because a lot of times when I say this, the argument is women of my age group. And my argument is women of all age groups, because that's me. That's my argument. Because let's look at this. On the Kevin Samuels show, was it only women in my age group? Let's be real. It's all of them. All of them. So that
here's what I'm saying. It gets worse. Would you agree that it gets progressively worse? You think that baby boomers were really like this? They weren't that bad. It was different. I'm just saying it's getting progressively worse, and you have access to less, better, wholesome women. That's facts, because I was able to find a wife pretty easy. I feel like I can survive in this dating market and still do it. But I realize that everybody's not going to be able to. And I realize that it's harder now. Like, just from I consult with women and everything too, right? And I have women friends of different.
Trev, is this a wholesome argument? Is this a wholesome woman argument, or is this a woman that you can tell some shit to?
Yeah, argument? Because what I'm saying is that I wouldn't make a woman like that my wife in the first place, right? If I can't talk to her and she's not going to be ready to hold it down. But what I'm saying is it's less access to those types of women. As you go down in the age group, it's less and less. Because I talk to a lot of these women of different ages, and it's different. Like, they don't have the same type of mindset. You see how it is right now. Everything is just okay. It's the same thing with young men. A lot of men are not nearly as ambitious. They're feminized. Like, everything is bad. So you don't have as much access to those women. And there are some older women who are like that, right? And I've seen as much as women go up to their 40s and stuff like that. But still, that's not baby boomers. That's like what, Gen X. And Gen X is the first generation to seriously drop the ball, right? Where it's getting worse and worse and worse. But if he was able to get somebody at the, medium point of Gen X, then I think you would be in decent shape. For the most part. Of course, it's going to vary woman to woman, but you got to realize just think about what type of a woman would even go on Kevin Samuels in the first place. My wife would never do that. Most of your wives would never do that. So we can't get wrapped up in what happens on social media, because real women, most women that I would have ever dated would not have touched social media in the first place, even to present day. They would not be on there posting content, would not be on there getting on people's lives. So we get it confused a lot because what's exposed to us on social media, but that's not real. Right? It gives you somewhat of a barometer of how bad the state is, but it's not in actuality. There's some people who I know personally that don't even have a Facebook account, don't have a TikTok, don't have Instagram, don't even be on YouTube. They deal with real life. So that's what I'm saying. Most people they're overrepresented. It's a loud minority of women who are out there doing all this nonsense. And a lot of women will never be on dating apps neither. So it's difficult for you to get access to good women, because most of the ways that we have easy access to them, they won't be there.
What's a good woman?
What's a good woman? A woman that is interested in making sure you are happy. A woman that, when it brings her joy to please you, a woman that is understanding, one that you can be honest with, and she's not going to judge you for it. A woman that doesn't want you because of your looks, because of your status, because of your money. A woman who just like you and judge you by your character, right? Because y'all have a good vibe. Like she just likes the way that you are. She likes the way that you conduct yourself as a man. That's the type of woman who you would really want to gravitate to. And they don't always come in the best looking packages, but you would be much better off. I would rather pick a 7 that's legitimate than take a dime that's going to get on my nerves and be a 304. That's just me.
Another good woman is a woman you could tell the truth that you lost your goddamn job and she's okay and she's gonna help you find another. That's a woman. Right on.
So good women don't judge. Good women don't judge men off looks or money or none of that.
I don't think nobody said
that's not their primary that's not their primary focus.
Good women judge men based off looks too. Good women judge men based off status too. They do that.
Of course they do. Go ahead, hit him, Shan. Go ahead, hit him, Shan.
No, just 3 things, and I know because I think JR want to move on. Just one. Wait to get married till you get your shit together. That eliminates all this argument. Really, that's one of the biggest arguments that's one of the biggest points that I make. Wait till you get married until your shit is solid. And even then, if you're in your 20s, don't get married. Don't marry women your age. And when you got your shit together, you can lose your job and you can come home and say it with your whole chest and your woman ain't gonna say nothing and you ain't gonna trip. But when she's your partner, when she's your roommate paying 50-50, yeah, I see why you won't want to get out the car and sit in the parking lot for an hour before you come in the house and try to figure it out. But once you got your shit, when you move in a certain way under your domain, it wouldn't matter how the economy and everything outside goes because you got it all solid in the house. And it's hard to really explain that until you actually get your shit together. So that's number one. Number 2, you were mentioning something about this is way back before the whole woman thing. Jason, you was talking about guys on your level. You don't want to talk to guys on your level. You want to talk to the Grant Cardones, the guys above. You got to be careful of those motherfuckers. They're the ones that'll steal you first. Grant, they'll take because they got the money to put behind something to get it started up, especially if they hear a great idea. But here's the other thing: other cultures don't do this. This is what I was talking about. Where well, who are you around that you wouldn't want to talk to that's on your level? Like that's got the probably drive similar cars as you, probably look just about as good as you, about as fit as you, got about the same amount of money in his Bank of America checking account as you. He's your partner, and you wouldn't want to talk to him? Because my question would be, if we talk about like minds, would you steal his shit? Could he tell you something that he finds and that he believes that he's telling you in confidence and you turn around and steal his shit? If you could say solidly, I wouldn't take the homie stuff, then why would you think that your homie would take yours? That's important. But because we're such a crab in a barrel culture that we're afraid of every fucking thing and we're afraid of every fucking body. And we're not paying attention to who we are, making sure that we get our shit together and the people that surround us. If you pay attention to the people that surround you, you won't have a problem telling even the people on your level now, below you, under your, on the lower socioeconomic status than you, niggas. No, you don't tell niggas. But your people, your inner circle, that's what Drake said. The inner circle so small it turned into a dot. You shouldn't have a problem with that. So just think about that. Because, like, I'm the only African American. I'm the only black man with a fashion store on the Santee Alley, downtown LA, in the fashion district. Only black guy. It's 500 merchants down there. One black dude. Black people down there all day long, but everybody runs their business out of their second bedroom in their apartment in the city. They don't got no storefronts. And that never made sense to me because I'd be telling brothers, I'd be like, yo, man, this place is available. You should get that. Yeah, man, I want that come in my shop. This shit is fly, man. This look like I'm in Beverly Hills. I said, oh, why don't you move next door? I give y'all the game. I even know the owner of the building. Nobody even wants to give game in our community. But then I look at everybody else that's not my complexion, and they down there doing it together, families and brothers and cousins, and just pulling up and park the Bentleys parked down the street, the Ferraris over here, just making money together. We have to stop. What do they call it? Because we got so many damn buzzwords. Scarcity
hyper-individualism or scarcity mindset.
Yeah, there you go. Hyper-individualism and scarcity mindset. Black people is just like, I'm gonna keep everything mine. I don't want nobody to have none of my shit. I don't want nobody to know nothing because I don't. But then you in the wrong. Where do you live? Who are you hanging it with? Who are you partying with? Who you talk to? Who's in the first 5? Who's in the favorites of your iPhone? Who you texting with? Who do you ball with at the park? Who do you go to the gym with and work out with? Start thinking about that, and then you wouldn't worry about the people on your level disseminate information in it, because that is actually part of your eternal personal mastermind. And then the last one, and I'm sure JR want to move on, idea stealing. I heard that before, and my man Sir Hill came in and affirmed you on the idea stealing. Let me tell you something, y'all. Ain't nothing new under the sun.
I was just about to say that.
Ain't nothing new under the sun. There's nothing. Listen, I don't cook, but I'm sure there's cookbooks out there, and I'm sure some of y'all know how to burn on a barbecue grill. Some of y'all only cook on hot coals and laugh at people that use gas barbecue grills. Some of y'all know how to bake. Some of y'all know how to make food. Some of y'all can read a recipe. It don't matter if they have the blueprint to how to make that goddamn casserole. Can they make it like you? It don't matter if you give the recipe, the blueprint to that dish to another person. Can they go into their kitchen at their house and duplicate it the way you can? Somehow your cake come out tastier than everybody else's. And they put the same amount of eggs in there. They put the same amount of milk. Somehow your lasagna is better than everybody else's. You didn't hide the recipe. You told them what to get. You said this, you got to get a little bit of Old Bay. You got to get a little bit of paprika. You got to do, it doesn't matter. Listen, I mean, we're right now, Threads just came out, the app Threads. And everybody's in the, Twitter. No, Twitter, Twitter ain't, you think Elon is tripping on Threads? It's like, you could do it.
From what I hear, he's suing them.
Yeah. You can do it, but at the same time, Tesla, all their patents are open source. Tesla's like, y'all can use all of our technology. Everything that we got, you can use it. Chevy, Ford, Chrysler, Mercedes, BMW, y'all can use everything that we got for Tesla, but you ain't gonna make Tesla because you ain't Tesla. And if you have that kind of mindset, you will be the richest man in the world. If you have that mindset and your ideas, I ain't worried about who knows what the fuck I got going on. You ain't gonna do it like me. You can know it. You ain't gonna do it like me. Then you don't have to worry about keeping everything. Because what happens is you get analysis paralysis. You start thinking and you never launch. You become a failure to launch. And nothing ever happens because you're so worried about everybody stealing the idea that might suck to begin with. You might, by disseminating some information to people on your level, Jay Stanza, you might get some information that you didn't know that will accelerate your growth, accelerate your success. But because you didn't say nothing to nobody. So just, ladies and gentlemen, especially ladies and gentlemen of the Black community, we have to stop thinking like we've been thinking because it hasn't helped us much. I'm with these people. I watch these other people and I'll be trying to bring mine in and be like, I'm like, come on, y'all. I got the answers over here. This is how we do it. Nah, man, I gotta, Shan, I all the time, I got a t-shirt idea. I want to do this. I got this movie idea, Shan, but I don't know if I can't let nobody read the script. We have to start sharing information, not worrying about if somebody's going to steal it, especially if we're around the right type of people. The biggest thing that we need to worry about is who we're hanging out with, not so much keeping all the information. I just want to land on that.
I was going to say, Jay Stanza, just look at me as an example, right? I'm a barber, right? Make a pretty solid living. How many barbers do you know? I work in a building with all of us got suites, and there's 20-something other barbers in the same building. Can still
they fade like you? Can they fade like you though?
The fades don't change. Look, here's the tripped out part. The fades don't change. A drop fade is a drop fade. A taper fade is a taper fade. A high ball fade is a ball fade. It doesn't matter how you slice it. It comes down. There's a dude right now. They're making millions of dollars on YouTube right now, teaching everybody how to cut hair. Everybody. All we're doing is driving the same wheel. Nobody reinvented the wheel. It's the same wheel. We just all jumped in and got good at it and got a few people to support us. So
I want to jump in too. Just so I agree with Shan. I agree for the most part, but I like to disagree just for the sake
No,
of
you don't. Say Shan, fuck you. I don't agree with you.
But here's the other part though. I agree with sharing, but the difference between what Jane Stanza was saying and what Shannon and what Sweetie alluded to is too many people share before they even doing something. Right. So I say, if you haven't started and seen some success in what you're doing, keep your mouth shut. Like a lot of people get excited about the idea and start sharing the idea, just the excitement of it. I say before you get enthusiastic and try to get everybody engaged, at least have some evidence. At least go get the EIN, right? At least get the DBA, at least get something started. And then as you get some success, it's like, I think too many people in our community, and let's be real, we got too many people trying to teach people how to be successful, and they're not ashamed. They don't have a building where you can come into and Shan can say, this is how I did it. Let me give you my contact. What we stop at is enthusiasm. And once we get excited about an idea, we start communicating it. I think that's the part we got to stop. Enthusiasm be converted into action. Once we got some action and some results, now let's bring some folks in and show them how we did it. But we're trying to give people steps that we haven't taken. So that's the only pushback that I have for Shan. And that goes back to, it's about when you share it. You share stuff when you've got evidence that the steps you're talking about actually work.
I just still kind of disagree with that, man. Like the thing is, sometimes you need somebody to tell you you're an idiot. Sometimes you need somebody to be like, yo, like that shirt company idea is pretty
stupid ass idea.
Or like, yeah, like sometimes you need somebody to tell you that's stupid before you even go make the EIN. Like, I really think reflecting, it's all based off of the people around you. And like, if you have good people around you and you're living a good life and you're building the right people around you, you should have somebody that you can trust to tell you you're being stupid sometimes. And that's okay. Like, I don't think, like, I really love failure. I really love being told when I'm wrong. I love those moments of growth. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And then also, Santa, I want to say, like, one of the best things about becoming successful is, like, I always say that when you start focusing on yourself, and then the friends that come to you, the friends that see that you're a star that's becoming bigger and stronger, and they come and become a part of your gravitational field, those are the best friends anyways. And that's how you build amazing things together. So like, you should just have a mentality of just not building friendships and just finding, working on yourself. And when you become a star and you're a bigger gravitational pull, people are going to come into whatever you're building, and nobody can take your idea. If it's a right idea, nobody can take it because it's you. Everybody's building personal brands now. So everything that you're going to do is all going to be based on your personal brand one day. So focus on yourself and you're going to find your purpose. And then other people will come and help build your purpose when they see your gravitational waves that you're creating.
You guys just tuned in. Welcome to King Talks. Hit the like button. Also make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got a couple super chats came through. Advanced Perception, $2 says, when you tell the plan, you plan to fail. King, so 199 says 304, so the loud majority. I want to say thank you guys for contributing to the platform. Hit the like button. Also make sure you subscribe to the channel. What y'all laughing at?
No, he said the loud majority.
No, because I said the 304. So I said the loud minority. He said the 304 is the loud majority. Oh man, he's red pilled.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into our next topic of the night. Shout out to the sponsor, Teach Henley again. Here we go. Women stop getting cute because they're comfortable. So I came across this message. Want to get you guys thoughts on it. It said, one thing I don't understand is why women say they don't get cute for men, but when they're in a relationship, they start getting cute because they're comfortable. And then when they're single, they pick it back up. If it was for you, then why would you stop doing it?
So 20 years ago, maybe longer, I graduated in 20. So yeah, 25 years ago, before email, before email. This is back when the first set of emails we got was AOL. I know a lot of y'all have never had an AOL email account. Shout out to all the OG people who had AOL, America Online and shit. Shout out to everybody that remember that dial-up sound.
I remember.
66K.
You got mail.
I had an argument at Cal State Long Beach where I went to school, where this girl was saying I get dressed for me, and I said, "Nah, that." And at the time, young Shan was thinking that doesn't really make sense to me. If you get dressed for you, then why don't you put makeup on at home and walk around your living room? How come you don't get fly the way we go to parties? Because that's when we were all outside. It was only half the people had a cell phone at the time, right? Because this is even before the flip phone. And then this is and there was no digital cameras, no social media, no nothing. If you get dressed for you, then why don't you do what you do at the party at home? It never made sense to me. So, brothers, if you guys can speak on it, I'm gonna keep quiet. If you guys can speak on people who believe that they get fly for themselves and not because I believe what Oscar Wilde says, everything in the world is about sex, except for sex. Sex is about power. If you guys can explain to me why some people believe, and maybe some of you guys also believe, that you get fly for you and not anybody else, why women get dressed for herself and not anybody else, or are they getting dressed for other women? Explain the dynamic to me, because for 30 years I've been preaching everybody cares what other people think.
All right, go ahead, Jay Stanza.
Women like attention. It's cap that people like to do things for themselves, and this goes for men and women. I go to the barbershop so I can look good. So when I go to the club, women be like, damn, his haircut, he looking fly. That's why I went to the barbershop. I got the Lambo. Why? Because I know women see me in the Lambo, they're gonna be like, damn, who that? They're gonna flock. Women get dressed, they look good, they put on the tight dress, and when they go to the club, guys gonna flock to them. That's the reality of the situation. But back to the prompt JR put up, people get comfortable in relationships. That's why I don't do that shit. Women get comfortable and men get comfortable. That's why you see a lot of men in relationships. What happened? They got a gut. They just had a baby. They got a gut. They pushing the stroller in the mall. They ain't worked out. No.
I feel attacked right now.
The wife don't look good here. She comfortable. And now as soon as you leave, as soon as you break up with that woman, now she want to glow up. She want to go to the gym. She looking right. She looking fit. You like, damn, where was this when we was together? You was looking like a bum. You was wearing my hoodies and shit. I'm telling you, people get comfortable in the relationships for men and women. So that's why I don't do that shit. Sure, I land on that.
He said a gut. He emphasized that gut part. Made me feel bad.
I feel attacked right now.
Solid point, Jay Stanza. I mean, I agree with what he said. I think that's what it is too. But to the point about the way you present yourself, I think it's both. I don't think if you do something solely because of other people, then people are going to be controlling you, because one day they don't like this, and you're going to find yourself upgrading your wardrobe and buying different cars and changing your hair and growing hair so it's got to be both. Like, so I know for me, like, I've been dressing in shirts and ties since I was 5 or 6. So part of it was because I like shirts and ties. And then I just noticed that people treat you differently when you present yourself in certain occasions a different way. So I think as you develop, it's both. You like it because of how you present yourself, but then you like what you receive. So I think if we're really being honest, we dress and we do what we do because of both. It's both. We care about what people think, and there's got to be a selfish component about that as well.
See, but Sir Hale, so today's going to be our pushback night. So we're going to go back and forth.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you say I've been dressing in shirt and ties since I was 5 years old because I like shirt and ties. And then I started going out and realizing that, the responses that I got from people out there made me feel good. Well, isn't the reason why you like shirt and ties because of that? Or are you saying you like shirt and ties anyway? So as far as you're concerned, you go play basketball in the shirt and tie?
I have
You go
done
to the
so.
gym
Please don't judge me, but
in a
I
shirt
have
and tie.
done so.
He looked like he jumped on the court with a pair of black sole shoes and tie.
Let me give you some pushback. Everywhere I go is not accepted. So I grew up with guys who clown me for this, right? Because most, when coming from Illinois, this was the age where we had baggy jeans, Air Force Ones, white beaters, the fresh cut tees, and I'm up here, 12 years old, a shirt and tie in a briefcase, right? So it's not accepted everywhere. So this is what I'm saying. When you do something for you, you really don't give a care about what people think. This is what I'm saying in certain settings. Now, let's be fair. I should not have been wearing this when I'm out with the boys and we go to play basketball. That's too much, right? It's about setting. But that's what I'm saying. You do it for both, because everybody doesn't receive this where you go. You got to know how to present yourself for the environment that you're in, and you're going to be received a little bit better. I'm just saying, for men, you cannot be controlled with what other people think about you. Like somebody might say, you always want a t-shirt and you should wear a shirt and tie. If you keep on going what people think, you're going to be adapting to everybody's perspective about you, right? That's what I'm saying. So it's got to be a personal decision, but you have to know how you come across and know that there's a benefit to other people's perspective as well. That's why we got PR people, right? That's why we got marketers and stuff, right? Because it matters.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, go ahead.
Round one.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah. So he'll take a little different path, and I was gonna go with it. But anyways, I kind of look at it from more of a singular standpoint, more of a how should I put this? Like as basic human need as possible. We talk about needs as humans. You need food, you need water, you need shelter. You know what I'm saying? You need a partner, you need somebody there. Everything that men have done in history when it comes to, men want nice cars, men want to dress nice, men get nice haircuts, men do all the things that they do. We try to get the biggest house, and trying to get the best degrees, is to be select. So we can get the woman that we want. We get the best possible woman that we want. Period. And women, they get dressed up. They want to look their best so they can get chose, so they can get male attention, and so they can get female attention, because they love their compliments. Women love attention, period. No matter if it comes from men or if it comes from women. They want attention overall. They want their homegirl. They want the girl that's really competing with them. Out in the dating market, to say, damn, girl, I love that dress. Ooh, girl, them pumps are cute. Ooh, I love how your hair look. Ooh, it just builds their confidence so much more. It just takes them from here to here. The men can give her all the attention she wants, but if a woman says it, that means, because women are more particular. Women are more observant. Women understand the reason why she picked that particular necklace, or she picked that particular earring, or she picked that particular heel. They see the detail in what they do, and they know that it's even more appreciated when it comes from a woman. But they ultimately do it for mating purposes and for selection as well, to sit up there and get the attention from the most high value male they can get attention from at the end of the day. When it comes to them getting comfortable and stuff, it's because they were doing it to get your ass, and now that they got your ass, they ain't got to do it. They already won the race. They won the medal. They got the ring. She had the baby. She's sitting down. And if you sitting there, just like Jay Stanza said, getting a gut and relaxing too, she know no one else wants your ass either. So she's sitting there chilling because he's right here next to me and I'm right here. And we're both inside and we both got our robes on. That's what ultimately comes down to. Do I like that shit? Hell no. That's why some guys like to keep their women on their toes. And that's a whole nother conversation.
You know what's tripped out, y'all? Is that even the ones that do it for themselves, right? The ones that's speaking words of affirmation in front of the mirror, where they the only ones telling themselves they look good. We got people, we got women out there marrying themselves, and guess what? They still can't keep it to their damn selves. They gotta run a TikTok and tell the world how they married themselves. They gotta run a TikTok and tell the world how, hey, look, I'm speaking words of affirmation to myself. So even then, even when they're literally doing it for themselves, they still not doing it for themselves because they gotta come out here and tell us what they're doing.
Hey, real quick, B Man, you mentioned something about the basics. The first thing that popped in my mind was Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs.
Mhm.
So for those that don't know, Mark Zuckerberg wears a t-shirt and jeans to work every day. When the late great Steve Jobs was here, he wore black t-shirts and jeans every day. Whenever he did a presentation, when he released the Apple in July 2007, and whenever he released any other product, you always notice that he had a black t-shirt on. Somebody asked him, he said, and this is, see, for me, I used to get dressed. I used to get dressed, coordinate, fly, and spend a whole lot of time. I used to do all of that stuff. Now I just pretty much wear black t-shirts all day. And this is the reason why. Well, this is what I adopted. Somebody asked Steve Jobs before he passed. They said, Steve, why do you only wear black t-shirts every day you go to work? You can clearly wear whatever you want. You can have a closet as big as you want. You can have as many tailors as you want, but you always wear that. And he said, his response was, and this is what Zuckerberg picked up in myself as well. He said, because I have too much on my mind to think about getting dressed. He said, I got too much on my mind as the CEO of Apple and the founder and CEO of Apple Computers than to worry about coordinating my pants and my shirts. So I wear black t-shirts and I wear basic t-shirts because it keeps everything simple. And I can use he's saying I can use all of my brain power on making better products. And I always thought that was interesting. Some people do like that's me. Some people like to keep it basic as possible. So I have to worry about all the other stuff that comes along with getting fly. Now I'll get fly if I got to go out. If there's an event, I'll do what I need to do. But typically I keep it super simple so I can think about the shit that's really important in my life. The thing about those Zuckerberg, his t-shirts cost $500 each. And so for those that don't know, there's a fabric called Pima. It's the highest
Pima
quality.
cotton.
It's a longer string. So
Pima
it's Pima
cotton.
cotton.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So for gentlemen like that's out there that want to keep it simple but still want to feel good, look into now.
It's an elevated look.
It's not a Hanes t-shirt that you go grab. It's not a fucking oversized AAA t-shirt. It's not it's not your basic t-shirt. It's a Pima cotton t-shirts typically start around $50 and go up. I know that may seem weird, but put one on first before you knock it. Put on a Pima cotton t-shirt and let it lay across your skin, and then cast that judgment. But keeping it simple also allows some people to concentrate on other things. The thing about it in the dating market, the people, like these women that say they do it because they want to just be, to dress for themselves, I think is just 100% bullshit. I think everybody gets dressed and likes to look fly for other people, because if a zombie apocalypse happened tomorrow and the sky fell and all communication went out and nobody was able to talk and half the world disappeared like Thanos snapped, I don't think we'd be worried about what's in the closet. Just think about that.
Nope.
And like you're saying, Shan, that's one less decision that Steve Jobs had to make every day, because they make so many decisions throughout the day that impacts the planet. Literally, you're impacting the planet. You're impacting billions of people and how they live their lives and how they search for things, how they look at things, how they look at the world. So if you're making big time decisions on a regular basis, you don't want to think about what am I going to wear today. Just like, that same old saying you have with your woman, what are we going to eat today? It's the same kind of thing. Like that takes some brain processing power, especially when you and your woman can't decide on what you want. But I did want to say this real fast. I'm a fashion model. I love fashion. I love clothes. I love to put it on all day, every day. I really do. I love to look good. I love to look good for me. But there's no mistake there. I'm looking fly for the women. And that's just what it is. I'm looking fly for the ladies. I know that. There's no delusion there whatsoever. I want you to say, oh, look at his beard. It look nice. Oh, look at his shirt. Oh, is that Pima cotton? Oh, I like that shit. That's soft. Oh, he got him some bread. Oh, I like what he's what's he wearing? Is that Louis Vuitton? That smell good. Oh, I like that shit. I ain't never gonna deny that. But I like to look good, but I do it for the ladies. And for you ladies that like it, you're welcome.
I would say that it's different for some people because some people really don't care, and you can tell by the way they leave the house. There are some people who just don't care. They leave the house with pajamas, however they went to bed, whatever, and they are what they are, and they don't care what anybody thinks, and they do it for themselves. But for the people who don't, it's always based behind strategy, right? Like Sir Hill was saying earlier, he wears a suit and tie because he knows that people will treat you better. That's a strategy. And then you have your mating strategies. That's why, like everybody else said, we all do it. And women do the best that they can to obtain a man. Now, as far as them actually being able to retain a man, which is one of their primary problems, especially the women of today, they don't, because they obviously do get comfortable. They don't care. And then you see them in the bonnets, and they go to bed like that, and they walk around the house like that, and then they have, you see the big old flannel pajamas and stuff. They would not do that type of thing in the beginning because they're still trying to suck you in. Now, once they got you, they got their claws in, and you knee deep in it. Now they start slacking. I'm going to say men do it too sometimes, but not nearly as of the extent of that women do. I'm definitely going to say that because, like me myself, I definitely try to at least stay up to par, do what I can to stay in shape, make sure I'm groomed, make sure I look good all the time. You know what I mean? I don't go to bed with sunglasses, but I do my best to make sure I do my best to make sure that I look like I do in the daytime, during the nighttime, and whenever you see me, you never know who you're going to run into. So I feel like you should always be at your best. Some of it is the only part of it that I feel like is about yourself is like what particular style that you own. So you find a style that you own and you do it your way. But as far as if nobody was going to see me, I'd probably be outside with PJs too.
All right. I just got a quick question for the fellas. I'm curious because we're like, Steve Jobs, he wore a t-shirt because this man is saving the planet. He's recycling energy. He's giving people back their lives. I have a question. Would us men be okay if we had women in our lives who said, you know what? I know when you met me, I had on dresses and I had the stilettos and, I was all that. I wore makeup and I did my hair. And she said, you know what? Because I'm now a wife and I've got kids and I got really busy things to do, I'm just going to wear a t-shirt and sweatpants every day and some Converse. Would us men be okay with that?
That's what they
Unacceptable.
do.
No, men and women are not the same.
Okay with that. Would we be
Men
okay
and women
with
are not the
That's
same.
what they do. That's what he just talked about. That's the whole switch
They're
up.
already doing that. They're already
That's
doing
exactly
that.
what happens.
That's
And
what
why
I'm
the
saying. Are we
sweatpants? I
okay
ain't
with
trying to see
that?
no sweatpants.
No, we're
I
not
don't want
okay.
sweatpants.
We're
That's
I
what
need
I'm
some
saying.
No.
legs.
We're
What you
not.
talking
I
about?
just said that to say, I think us men, we should, emulate the level of woman that we want to have as well. So if you want a certain woman to appear a certain way, we got to do our part, as well.
Absolutely.
Men and women are not the
Absolutely.
same though. Like Mark Zuckerberg has so much money, he can dress like a dork, and he's still gonna have a woman that's gonna sit there and make herself look nice for him. Especially with him going to the gym and shit now. Like he's stepping up his other
Oh,
stuff.
that's right.
So.
He just took that.
Billionaire.
But
Well,
most people,
I see your point. I see your point, Mr. Hill. Basically, when men are out there saying, you need, how you got them is how you need to keep them. is what we expect from women, you know. So don't fall off, right? We always talk about, people say black don't crack, and I say yes it does, but people fall off all the time, and we don't want anybody to fall off. And so, fellas, if you guys are getting fly and you got your hair cut and you getting your edge up and you smelling good and you looking sharp and you know you working out, don't get married and then just fall off, because that's not what you would expect a woman to do. I think the reason why we brought up the Steve Jobs, or at least I brought up the Steve Jobs situation, is because those are producer males. Remember, I got this thing called producer male. So if you're a producer male and you got shit to do, and you're providing and you're creating things, you need to be as fucking comfortable as possible. And so if I'm out there, and another thing with me, they're typically gonna meet me like this. So it's not like I'm gonna switch up. So I'm simply saying, when I talked about the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, who's out there wearing Brunelli t-shirts that cost $450, $500 a pop, he's comfortable because he's out there producing for his woman, and his woman is the beacon of beauty for the relationship. Remember, everybody, your wife is the beacon of beauty in your relationship. That's why I say, you know, guys can kind of fall off. It's not cool, but your woman needs to be the one that represents the beautiful side, the beauty side, the imagery side, the good looking side. I want a good looking woman on my arm when you go to the Christmas party every year for the job. You know, what kind of woman do I have? You know, most guys ask, man, you know, what does his wife look like? Whereas women ask, well, what does he do? So with those kind of things are important, I don't think they're necessarily wondering what kind of suit he's wearing. They want to know what he's doing. And if he's doing something that's monumental, but he's wearing a t-shirt, that's A-okay. And if she is looking good, then that's A-okay too. Now, if we get into the point where we want our women to start doing well, then I guess your point makes more sense to me, at least.
To the last point, so I'm not advocating for suits per se. I'm just saying presentable. You know what I mean? So I'll give you an example. B Madden, the chain and shirt you got on tight. Shannon, you always sharp. I don't even know what we doing this shit. You got a whole clothing brand. I don't even know why you saying all this. So you know, so it being presentable, you do this nice watch, and then 2 years later, you know, sweatpants and Crocs every day. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, just keep up with it. You know, work out, eat well, get sleep, and just stay presentable. That's all I'm saying. And it doesn't matter what you wear. Iron your clothes. Like, your shirt should be ironed, right? Just things like that. That's what I mean.
I think everybody should do that, period. Man or woman. Everybody should do that shit. That's called being an adult. That's called being grown.
Like, I agree, but like, Sir Hale, you got to understand, just men and women aren't the same, though. At the end of the day, say the guy is that guy. Like, he is the type of guy where he could get more women because he makes a lot of money. He's successful. He goes to the gym. He does all that stuff. But he's going through a Brad Pitt phase where he only wants to wear sweats and a t-shirt, and he wants to do that. If he's that guy and his girl he could replace his girl in 5 minutes, he can get away with doing that. He can do whatever he wants. And the woman is still going to have to dress nice because women have to always do whatever it takes to obtain those guys. And since we're different, since women want a man that's a provider and men want a beautiful women, we're opposite. Like, we're not going to want the same thing. So I definitely just don't think that it goes that way. Like, you know, to quote the great Future, you know, bitch, don't get too comfortable. You know, like and the problem is that if a woman is getting comfortable in a relationship, it's because you suck. Like, if your girl at any point getting comfortable, it's because you as a man suck. And it's because, I don't know. Like, I always would just blame the men if the woman is doing that stuff. Like, obviously he sucks.
Well, to answer the question, man, does women get comfortable or they get cute because they're comfortable? Now, women don't stop getting cute. They don't stop. They're going to continue to get cute. Every time they go out with their girlfriends, they're going to get cute. They just not going to be cute with you. You're going to get some old lame ass outfit that she's going to give you, make those some lip gloss on, keep moving. But she gonna go full-fledged makeup, weave, gonna be laid to the side every time she go out with her girlfriend. So to say they doing for other men, no, they not doing for other men. They doing it for other girls. I don't know why they do it because they bulldaggers. I don't know. Are they just doing it just because they want the approval of other women? Maybe that's the case because they always gonna get cute and the friends gonna lie to them, girl, you look good, knowing you look nasty and sloppy, and then that baby weight should have been gone 5 years ago because your son's 12 years old now. But, you know, it is what it is.
I feel like they're in constant competition with each other. Women are a lot more competitive than they admit to being.
You should always be using dread game to make a girl want to do those things. Like if you're not using dread game in your relationship to make sure that your woman is trying to constantly compete to make sure she has your attention, then I don't think it's going to be a good relationship all the time, especially with these men today. Like because they're gonna go a ways to other men if you're not keeping them emotionally like riled up
You
all
said
the time.
use drug game? Is that what you said?
No,
Can you break that down, Purple?
no,
Break that
no.
down for him.
It's called dread game. Dread game.
Oh, I thought you
You
said
just
drug game. I'm like, God damn,
no,
dog.
no.
It did sound like that, Hank. It really did. I was like, Purple gonna have to break that down.
It's Cosby, huh?
No, it's instilling dread, which is just that like you can be replaced. Like you should always make a girl feel like she can be replaced because that makes her be on her best behavior, dress the best, always look the best. Like she needs to always be competing for you, or else I just don't think the relationships work best when they're not doing that.
No, that's
keeping them on their
too much
toes.
work,
Keeping
man.
them on their toes.
You know, I mean,
It's really not a lot of work.
there's a place for that, but you can't be spending all of your time keeping her on her toes. She has to have something built within herself to keep her, going. Security Boss and I did a show some time ago, and I brought up the question about, if a woman, for an example, let's say when you met her, she never went to the gym, and then she get with you, and now you get all these requirements. You got to get into the gym. Well, it's a lot more difficult trying to get a woman to become something she wasn't before you met her. And so I say this to say to this question, it's important to get with somebody who has that in them already. So you're not spending. Now, listen, let's go back to saving the world, Steve Jobs. If you don't have time to be worried about your clothes and you're wearing a t-shirt and sweatpants, that means you ain't got time to keep a woman on her toes as well, right? So you got to get a woman that has that within her, so you're not babysitting her and keeping her on her toes. That's in her already.
I feel like if you are on your purpose, you on your job, and you are the best version of yourself, that's quite enough to keep a woman on her toes, right? Because women behave the best, unfortunately, when there is a constant threat of other women. That's just what it is. Unfortunately, we don't like to be like that, but it's not something that you have to throw in their face. It's not something that you tell them, but you just being on your job, you doing everything that you were when you met her, or even better, right? You're constantly trying to improve as a man, is going to naturally attract women. And if you are naturally attracting women, she's going to be very threatened by that, and she's going to perform better.
All right. Anybody else want to add anything else on this? Once, going twice.
I disagree with Shannon.
I would not have it any other way.
You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it.
I love it. Let's get to these super chats real quick. Got a couple of them. Bravo Tech $10 says the Winkle Boss twins told Mark Zuckerberg their idea, and look what happened. Facebook.
Watch the movie again. See what happened in court. They got paid. They didn't like the outcome, and he did all the coding. They didn't do no coding. Mark did all the work.
Yeah, they didn't do no work. Like, yeah, like
technically they hired him. The twins hired Mark Zuckerberg. Technically,
yeah, he didn't steal their idea. He did the work, and they were like, and he got paid, and then he bought them out. And then they hated the fact that the shit blew up, and then they wanted to come back in, and that's why they tried to sue him. And it didn't work, but he paid him a
lot of money.
Yeah, $200 million anyway that he didn't have to do. So it wasn't an idea.
Drop in the bucket.
But it was a great movie. Yeah, everybody know it. The name of the movie is Social Media. Go watch it. It's called Social Media. It teaches a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was good. Bob says, "Yeah, I got Terrell Owens, LeBron James, Allen Iverson, a Hispanic Steph Curry,
the Social Network is what it's called,
with a Randall Cunningham, 90s flat top."
Hispanic Steph Curry.
Wait, which one was me? Which one was I? Go back, put that back up real quick. Let's identify these. So who's Terrell?
Somebody bald headed.
Anybody dark skinned bald head.
So I think Terrell is Sir Hale.
There's got to be
Sir Hale is
yeah.
Terrell. Right now, who's LeBron?
That's me. I get LeBron James a lot. Yeah.
All right,
Who?
so we
They
got
been
LeBron.
calling him Usher. in this
Hispanic
thing.
Steph Curry. That's
They
probably
are doing that too.
What's this? What's
Not
this?
So we
Benjamin.
got Allen Iverson.
Hey, 30 is my number
Our
actually.
our young bull is Allen Iverson with the do rag. That's clear, right?
Yeah.
All right. Then we got Steph Curry as purple pill, and then we got B Madness, James Harden, and who's Randall Cunningham?
Who the hell is Randall Cunningham?
On his flat top.
It gotta be
that
you.
might be me.
You
That
don't-
might be me with the hair.
Be bad with the flat top.
I think I'm Randall.
yeah,
Cunningham.
Oh, you know what? That might be you.
Hey, somebody say
Yeah.
fan is Emmitt
And
Smith. I can
Hink
see
is
it.
Hink is James Harden with the beard. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, so cool. I'm not on the list. All right, for sure. I don't play ball.
No,
And I
somebody
don't.
you on the list. Emmitt Smith. Somebody said Emmitt Smith. That's a good point.
Oh,
I can see it.
Damn, he do it like Emmitt Smith. No, you know who Shan reminds me of LT a little bit.
Yeah, Lawrence.
Yeah, he do got a little bit of Lawrence Taylor. He do.
All right, lastly,
keep the roast coming.
Steve Jobs actually got that from Einstein.
And Zuckerberg got it from Jobs.
Are they saying that the idea of keeping the dress, like the Steve Jobs black T-shirt thing playing, he got that from Einstein? Because Einstein got dressed. Every photo I saw, even the video I saw, he was always suited and booted. But okay, that's cool.
Maybe it was
If
the same
Einstein came up
fit
with that,
though. Shan, maybe it was the same dressed up
maybe
fit.
it was the same fit. Maybe it was a simple ass wardrobe. You know what I'm saying?
Like
Maybe he kept a scholarly.
suit, like this brown suit. Yeah,
It's all black and white then. It's all the same.
Or perhaps he just got the ideology from him, i.e.
Probably.
It's
a genius idea.
Probably so.
It's a genius
fatigue.
idea. That's what's up. All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for the history lesson.
Thank everybody for contributing to the platform. Hit that like button. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now it's time to get to the meat of the conversation. We know the ladies like the meat.
Ow.
With that being said, ladies, I'm gonna drop a number in the chat for you guys to call in and ask men questions pertaining to the topic. So I'll put that on the back end. I'll try it if y'all want to come in. I know Gina says she'll call in. We'll see how it go. But let's get into the meat of the conversation,
Okay.
which is this is how affairs happen. This is how affairs happen. I don't think we ever talked about this or discussed this. I'd have a video for context, but it's going to be interesting to hear what the gentleman has to say. How I know Stanza say he got some experience. He has an idea of why ladies are from the lady side. But we'd love to hear what the man got to say from the man's side. So we go.
I think that infidelity is this rare thing that only really bad demonic people do. And that's not necessarily the case. Over time, if your needs get neglected long enough, I don't care, even the best of people, this guy, he's had thousands of clients, tell stories behind each one of these. He talks about a story behind each one of these emotional needs, neglected long enough, even the best, most righteous, most Christian of the people will literally morph their moral compass to now justify how going somewhere else to satisfy their emotional need is what rightfully needs to be done to take care of themselves. Like you feel neglected long enough to the point now where it becomes betrayal. It becomes this person now is the enemy at this point, and I have to go somewhere else to take care of myself and fulfill myself. And I want to know, because you guys have been in a marriages for long periods of time.
All right, this is how affairs happen. We'll go ahead and go to Sweeney first. What are your thoughts about that?
So I made a post about a year ago on Facebook, and I said, I don't know who told y'all this lie, but yes, it can most definitely be your fault for why he or she cheated on you. A lot of people like to say there's no excuse for cheating, there's no excuse for infidelity, but people have their reasons. You may not like the reason, you may not agree with it, but you can also contribute to the reason for why they did it. So the guy is absolutely right. This is how affairs happen. When people when needs start to not get met, when things start to go awry, people tend to move differently. So he's absolutely correct on that.
I'm going to go to you, Hank. What are your thoughts about it? This is how affairs happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, her, I can agree. I agree. Look, I'm gonna be vulnerable now. It happened to me due to lack of intimacy, and I was vulnerable and made me to the point of seeking an intimacy somewhere else other than with my wife. And so, yeah, it can happen, and it did happen to me. So,
All right.
So, do you guys know that there is a difference between an excuse and an explanation?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think that they're the same, they're one and the same, and they're not. See, an explanation is designed to give you all the facts, lay out the cause for a thing. That's what an explanation is to lay it out and give you all the facts, whereas an excuse is designed to push the fault away from yourself. When you make an excuse for what you do, you're basically saying, well, it's not me. This is the reason why. Whereas the explanation is saying, here's everything that went down. And so cheating, there's no excuse for cheating, in my personal opinion. Now, can you explain why? Yes. Can a brother or a woman, can somebody explain why they cheated on somebody? Yes, they can give you the explanation and the reasons why a person made a decision to do the things that they did. But when people start giving excuses for the shit they do, is where I typically start to tune out. See, in my personal opinion, there's no really excuse for cheating. I believe men, and since this is King Talk, I think men should say everything, say it with his whole chest to his woman or wife or girlfriend or situationship or whoever he's with. Let her know everything and let the chips fall where they may, and don't be afraid of it. If this is how affairs happen, it shouldn't be an affair. That's the only thing that I'm struggling with, is when men tend to give excuses as to why he had an affair, as opposed to an explanation as to why he had an affair. If you can explain your affair, then you probably have the wherewithal to let somebody know how you feel way in advance before it happens. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want kings to do. That's what I want men to start doing. It's not lying. There's no, I made a post last week. I said, don't fucking lie. Period. That's the sentence. Don't fucking lie. And when you don't lie about anything, you empower yourself, one, and then you tend to give explanations as to why you do the things you do, as opposed to excuses. So that's what I want to put out there.
All right. Jay Stans, what are your thoughts about it?
I'm gonna give it to y'all raw and uncut. Well, I agree with Shannon. Don't lie. Tell women straight to their face what's up. Hey, I got multiple women. What? I cheated. Like, this is the real. Tell them straight to their face what's up, and women will respect that shit straight up. But I'm gonna break it down. The reason why men have affairs, because you have went against your natural biology as a man. You fell to the pressure of society, got married, fell for the trap, fell for the trick, and now you having an affair because you went against who you was as a man, who you was built to be. Even back in the day in the Bible, these men had multiple women. But now society's trying to control you and make you be monogamous. Where did monogamy even come from? We don't know. You get married, your wife have kids, she ain't looking as good as she was when you first met her. You're like, damn, you in the street, you at work, you see better looking women, you had an affair. That's the reality. Why do women have affairs? Well, you get older. As a man, you might not be able to perform like you was when you was younger. You can't put it down the way you used to put it down. Women value that shit. They value sex big time. Women love sex too. This can't be a surprise. You get fat, you get lazy as a man, you get complacent. You ain't looking as attractive as you was when your lady first met you. Straight up. You lose your job, your wife been carrying you. She's like, ugh, I don't need him no more. I'm carrying him. I'm paying the bills. She gonna go find somebody else. Your wife a career woman. She's meeting bosses. She's meeting people in different tax brackets. She's like, oh hell, y'all finna upgrade. Social media now. Your wife didn't know what Instagram was. She didn't know what Facebook was. She didn't know about Snapchat. Now they got that shit. They have access to men worldwide. Like I said, 2023 is a different game. So now she's able to reach men all over the world, all over America. So it might pique her interest straight up. That's the reality of the situation. I land on that.
Anybody disagree?
To an extent, yeah.
Good.
I would say, yeah, I agree with what the brother said, but I think it's a couple things. I think when we start talking about affairs, I think it's really easy to start with, I wasn't getting something that I needed, right? It's really easy to do that. Like my wife, my husband, it's easy to do that. The truth is a lot of people cheat because they want to, and whatever reason that they can grab onto to justify them cheating, they will use that. I think that's really what it is. And I think this is not to say that a person can't neglect you to the place where you want to cheat. Like it's not to say that somebody can't make you feel unwanted. But I think people who cheat, and I'm talking about an affair, like cheating, one night stand, somebody has an affair, it's because it's something you wanted or something that you like that you're receiving. And it's amazing how, I'll give you an example. Like some people who are out there having affairs are suggesting that the person that they're with is having an affair. Like if you guys have ever been in a situation like that where like the person who cheated make it seem like you're doing something wrong. They want to go through your phone, want to go through your messages, want to go through your text messages. It's like they're treating you like you're doing what they're doing. And I think the truth is some people just want to cheat. And people who are immature and dishonest they'll really gaslight the person that they're with and make them feel like they're doing something wrong. You could have a dope person, just regular person going through life, like they decent. And then once that affair is over, it's amazing how you suddenly realize you had it good all along. Well, the truth is because they were never the problem. It was something in you that was unaddressed. And that's why you stepped out. And I always ask people who I coach, I said, before you stepped out and had an affair, all the stuff that you're not getting, did you communicate this to them? All the stuff that you feel, did you share this with them? And a lot of people, you will be amazed, they never even give the person they're with the opportunity to fix stuff. They just seek what they need outside the relationship and then wondering why, the relationship is crumbling. So no, it ain't always the other person. Sometimes you just want to cheat because you a thought.
I say it's plenty of different reasons why people cheat. There's usually a situation where somebody left the door open for it, right? So you're not doing something that the other person expects of you, right? There's also people who are not monogamous. They just didn't realize it until after they were married or after they're in a serious relationship. They just realized that they're not a person who's really good at monogamy at all. And if that's the situation, you're guaranteed to be in trouble. So the main point is women are going to do it. Men are going to do it. But if you try to communicate, sometimes even that doesn't even work. So there's certain people who you would get with, right? Let's say you're a man and you're like, you know what? I think like once every 2 weeks is not really cool. Maybe we could get down and like, I go to work too, or I'm tired, or what are you doing? So you can't always, there's some people who you just can't communicate that to, right? Where they're just not understanding. And anytime you try to come to them and say, hey, listen, this is what I need from you, they're just really not trying to hear it. They'll throw that right back at you. There's a lot of women who behave like that. So every time you try to bring something to their attention, then they just flip it right back onto you. And then at that point, you have broken communication. So you're going to say, well, damn, I still want my needs to get met. So let me see what homegirl doing over here. So a lot of times it's tough. And I'm not saying that's the right way either. You should communicate that to them, or just leave for real. Like that's your best idea. If you can't work it out with that person, you need to cheat, particularly sexually, then you probably should just leave, because as much things are at risk between your child support, alimony, everything else, you're gonna be screwed no matter what. So you might as well just go ahead and leave. Don't add cheating to it. It's never a winning game. But I think that the hardest part of it is trying to communicate your wants and needs. A lot of us don't have that ability to communicate with our partner. You might have lost communication with that partner. Maybe you just not really comfortable with each other. Maybe you just don't like each other. And a lot of times you may grow. The person that you are, you get with somebody in your 20s, you fall into the idealism and you say, hey, listen, let me go ahead and get married. Kind of like Jay Stanza's point, saying you succumb to what society tells you to do. Then now you're trying to do the right thing. You want to get married by a certain age. You want 2.5 kids, the white picket fence and everything. You're trying to do that and fall within society's standards of the American dream. And then you wake up, realize it was a nightmare, and you're like, this ain't it. Maybe I did this too early, or maybe I'm too early because what I used to like and appreciate at 25 is no longer what I like and appreciate in a woman at 35, or certainly not 45. So it's a lot of problems with that, particularly compatibility issues, because it's very difficult to work with people. Women, they want attention. And a lot of times, if you're a man that's on his purpose, he's on his grind, you won't always be able to give that woman attention. And there are some women who are understanding of it and are able to do their own thing. But there's a lot of women who feel like they must have your attention all the time. And they're like, oh, well, we don't go anywhere. Oh, we don't do anything like we were supposed to. But you're like, listen, it's grind season. I'm trying to get it. But they're not going to always be understanding to that, because they just want your time. They just want to be around you. They don't have that same sense of urgency when it comes to the work in most cases like men do. When we're on our purpose, we lock in a lot of times. It's good if we can compartmentalize and say, all right, this is family time, this is that. But not all of us are always the greatest at it. I know I'm guilty of just going too hard sometimes. But, fortunately, I do have a wife who's understanding of it. But not everybody's going to have that. Right. So unless you're able to have that balance and that communication, you're leaving the window open for cheating no matter what.
All right.
Let me ask the fellas the question real quick. Why do people often tell others that they should leave rather than cheat? Besides the obvious, like the losing the family, making things worse. But what is the root cause for why we tell people, why didn't you just leave me? Why didn't you just leave? Why did you have to cheat?
Hurt. Sham brought it up earlier. Yeah, Sham brought it up earlier. He talked about hurt, about there not being an excuse. And it was such a real point. But truth is a person who's hurt, everything is an excuse. Because somebody who's hurt, every reason you give them is you giving an excuse. And I think that's why it is. So in their head, the simple solution is leave, because people can't reconcile that I could cheat and still love you and not meant to hurt you. It's a very difficult thing to grasp for most people, because people associate, if you love him, well, you wouldn't have done this. And it's very hard for people to reconcile that you can still love a person and don't want to hurt them and still want to be with them. And it just so happened that you cheated as well. So I think that's where that comes from.
I also think that, a lot of people view it as betrayal and deception. Whereas if you say we're no longer compatible, it is what it is. I mean, it's unfortunate that you would have to go through a situation like that. But when you actually cheat, that's betrayal. And a betrayal is very different, in my opinion.
All right.
I like that verbiage. I like the verbiage you just used, we're no longer compatible, because it doesn't put the other person's defenses up automatically. They don't want to get ready to fight. They don't want to attack you off top. When you say I don't feel as though we're compatible anymore, or it's like we're not compatible anymore. It's like, it almost sounds like a fact. And when you say it like that, people tend to take a step back. They calm down a little bit. They take a breather. Well, maybe we're not. And then you go on to lay down the reasons why you're no longer compatible. Not excuses, but reasons. You might have a case there. You might have a case. But to answer the question, I'm a big proponent, kind of what Shan was talking about. Don't lie. Just don't lie. I'm a believer in being 100% standing on your manhood and telling somebody exactly who you are when it goes from the talking phase, the dating phase, to if you end up going down the committed relationship route, the engagement, the marriage, whatever. Every relationship nowadays is not traditional. It's not traditional monogamy. And the same thing with the women. The women of this day and age have to be honest with not only their partners, but with themselves of what type of relationship and what type of person they truly are and how they are in relationships. Are you really a one-man woman? There's a lot of women out here that are in the streets right now that have never had a real serious long-term committed relationship. They just jump from dude to dude to dude to dude to dude. They have a whole bunch of micro relationships. 3 months here, 3 months there, 3 months here, on to the next dick, on to the next dick, on to the next dick. Never fix themselves, never identify their issues, never figure out why it doesn't work out, never take the time to look in the mirror and figure out what's wrong with them, or never take the time to be alone and address their own issues. As a man, I can speak for most of us on this panel, or almost all of us on this panel, that we have all at least taken a time period to be alone, to look at the man in the mirror, to figure out, to have some time of self-reflection on what's going on in my life, what the fuck do I need to do differently, how do I need to move, and what did I do wrong, what do I need to own, and how do I move forward? Whether that's in life in general, whether that's in your work situation, your career, or in relationships. But we have to be honest with each other on what kind of relationship we would like to have and what type of person that we are and what's realistically sustainable for us to do what we need to do. Whether that's, hey, when you met me, I had other women. I've always had other women. I've always needed something else. I love you, but I got busted nuts sometimes. And you're not always available, or you're not always there, or you don't always feel good, and you're not there when I need you to be there. Not saying it's excuses, but it's just this is what it is. This is who I've always been. You need to be honest. If this woman is like, I ain't never stayed in a relationship longer than a year or two with one guy, maybe y'all need to talk about something else, some other type of arrangements, maybe some type of poly arrangement, maybe some type of swinger arrangement, or whatever works for your situation, not for anybody else to judge or talk about or whatever. That's y'all situation. And if there's multiple people involved, that's your business, but just be honest about it and be 100 about it. Because if you're not, the only person that's going to be hurting is your ass and that person. And that's it.
Can I ask you a question real
that.
quick? Do y'all feel like a man cheat and still love a woman fully? And same question
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. What about women?
1000%. Yes.
No, the woman cannot. It's not the same.
Men can cheat with women they don't even like and still love their wife. When a woman cheat, there's something about that guy she like. There's something about that other guy that he's doing that you not doing. Man can sleep with a woman he don't even like her and hit that shit and go home and still love his wife.
So
and Jay, a woman, to piggyback on what you're saying, women cheat mentally long before they do something physical.
Yeah,
they done jumped on that other dick long before up here. They done did all sorts of different fantasies, like in those Zane books and all that kind of stuff up here, long before they make a move. They done set it up months in advance because they already mentally and emotionally have already left the building when they want to go hop on something. They want to make a move. Every once in a while, there is some impulse stuff. There is something impulsive that can happen. But again, that comes down to you knowing your woman that you chose, You know her tendencies. You know how you got her. You know where she's been, the type of person that she is. So you know either when she's with you, she can't stand to be around another dude. She can't let another dude touch her. I know some women that can't get massages by men because they just feel weird from another man's touch or another man being close to them, because that's how dedicated and that's how, you know, how much they love and thirst for their one man. But then there's other women that just get hot and bothered just by getting some attention by another man, from another man. So you just got to know what you're dealing with.
All right, hold tight, gentlemen. I do have Gina. She called in. Got a question for the man. Gina, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what's your question?
Hey, fellas.
Hey, how you doing?
My question is: so do you guys feel that modern women are like cheat or not, can't be single, can be in a monogamous relationship?
No, they cheat. They cheat like hell. I'm outside for real. I'm really out here going outside. They're cheating, married or single or in a relationship.
That's crazy. So why do you guys feel it's like that for this day of time?
Because it's easy. It's easy.
So what is cheating? Because me, I don't know. I've never been around women that cheated on their husbands, because I've been around married women. And I never saw married women cheat, nor I haven't saw women that did any relationship that cheat. So I'm trying to figure out, what does the negativity come from when it comes to women in this day of time with relationships and being in a monogamous relationship?
I like to take a step at this.
We also have to be mindful
if you're not,
of the age group too. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
So, you got to make a distinction to the lady who's just because she's married doesn't make her a wife. So yes, married women will cheat. There's a lot of women who got the ring, who got status, but they're not a wife. So from that perspective, you can see why it would be easy to cheat. So that's the distinction that I want to make. So it's not, and then the other part is a lot of women say, I don't know any wives who've done this. Well, here's how women are. If you're not the kind of woman who would do this, you are not going to know, because they don't want you to know. But just because there's a lot of women who think that the women in their life have never done it, no, you just don't know about it because they don't want you to look at them for who they are.
Okay, I feel it. Okay, and my thing is, go ahead. Oh, okay. And I also have another question. What do you guys think that women seek validation from other women? I think that's ridiculous. Because me personally, I don't get dressed up for other women. I get, like, when I'm on my job, I make sure I'm presentable, I smell good, because, you know, I look good, I work good. And plus, I represent the company. When I'm out, if I'm not working, I represent myself, so I stay looking good. But where do you guys get the notion that women look good for other women? It's ridiculous, because I don't seek validation from other women. And I think that is ridiculous if you seek validation from other women. If it's not your big sister or mother telling you, okay, everything is okay, da-da-da-da-da-da. But for me to go out with friends and trying to look good for them, that's ridiculous.
Okay, so I do agree with you that it is ridiculous that women do go out to impress other women. I also believe that you probably don't do that. However, most women do that. It is what it is. I talk to many women, and I'm telling you, from all age brackets, they are trying to impress the men and the women that they are competing with. Women actually feel better about themselves when they are higher up on the curve. That's just what it is. They want to look good to the other women. They love that envy that comes around. That's just part of it. I did kind of want to touch on your what's that? No, but it's real. It's real.
I don't want nobody to be envying me. Like, I don't even want that negative energy. Like, I just want everybody. I'm funny style. I can't even go out. If you don't look decent or up to par, I wouldn't even go out with you, because I can't even be the only girl that look good in a crew. So if I go out with somebody, I either want to go out with a group of girls that look better than me, or I'm close to their level or on the same level. Because I'm not like image is everything to me.
Wait.
This is
So
what I'm gonna do.
how do you validate that?
But I won't compete. But I won't compete against them. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't care if I look good. To me, I care if they look good if they around me. That's my validation. Because I can't have nobody looking crazy around me. Or, I can't have that if I'm going out. You like, girl, you got to be fly. But for me to go out and make sure I get validation from other women is ridiculous. Because I get gratification and validation from other men. So I get dressed up for other men. So they be like, oh, Regina, you need to put this on, or this will look real dope on you to catch good attention and do things. Then, okay, that's what catch his attention. Okay, then let me put that on. But I will never try to seek validation from other women.
I don't want to mess your brain up with this, but I want you to, next time you walk into a room where there's a lot of women, just pay attention to who is watching you. They're going to look at you. They're going to start with your feet, and then they're going to work their way up to your wig. They're going to stare at you, and they're going to be sizing you up. And if you look long enough, you might even see them start to whisper and everything else. I want you to do that. Just do it for a day or two, and then come back and see if you have the same theory. I promise you that these women are sizing you up. Period. They're going to start with your feet, look at your shoes, see what your shoe game like, and they're going to work their way up, size you up, and then judge you. I promise you. Just walk into a room. Every room you walk into, just start looking at how women gaze at you. They can't help but to compete. That's just how they are. Women are competitive. As much as they say they hate to compete, they are constantly competing with other women.
Okay, I guess.
Try it tomorrow. Watch. You come up with a different theory.
All right, I'm gonna throw something out there real quick, Trev, too. Gina, real quick. Let me throw something at you real fast. I agree with everything Trev said. Not only the fact that it's not that we just got this notion, just not only because of what we've observed in our real life experience being around women as well, but we get that notion from women because women say it all the time. I mean, you've got all the celebrities that say it. They say it in the music, the Megan Thee Stallions, the Cardi B's, everybody. They say, I don't dress up for you. I'll dress up for my man. I dress up for the women. I dress up for me. I dress up for the women. They say that all the time. I'm trying to look good for the other women. I mean, you can look on social media and they say it all day. The majority of the likes are going to get it from women. The majority of the likes, the looks, the compliments, yes, it's yes, black girl magic, this and that, it's all from women. Because if they get the approval from women, they know they look good when it comes to men. They know men are going to like it. If the women like it, the men are going to love it. And that's where a lot of that mentality comes from.
No, so what I see, when I look good, I had women hate me. Like, they hate you and stuff. That's not a good thing. It should be a compliment. Like, girl, you dope. But I've been in situations where females hated me because I was dope and looked good. Really? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, they like attention, period. They like attention, period. So,
then, ma'am, now, if you don't mind me asking, ma'am, how about are you in your 30s or 40s?
I'm in my early 40s. I'm 42.
Ma'am, you know better. You know good and doggone well. When you go to the hairdresser, it's your sisters in there telling you, girl, you bad. Girl, you sharp. When you get that dress, you got your best friend. It's your friends who telling, girl, that look good on you, girl.
But I don't put it on. But listen, I don't put it on to get their validation. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't put it on for them to get their validation.
Here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. You don't want their sexual validation. You want their admiration. Women want the sexual attention from men. So you do want attention and you do want validation. It's just in different areas. And I think that's what we're splitting here.
Yeah.
Okay.
In all honesty,
I don't care about
I'm going to say that women's judgment is more reliable than men's, right? So just think of it as like a testing zone, because they don't know if they're good for men per se, because men are going to give them that attention no matter what, nearly. But if the women judge them, they know they have a much more accurate barometer based on the women's reaction. Because if a woman don't like you, you'll know. If a man don't really like you and he's trying to hit, you won't know.
No, it depends on the caliber of men. It depends on the caliber of men.
Well, not really, because I know a lot of dudes who would be considered tens by women's metric that will damn sure smash a 3. No debate about it.
Not me.
I promise you.
Oh, well, you know, I haven't know.
All right. All right, Gina, we appreciate you for calling in. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right,
Larry.
no problem. All right, enjoy your rest of your night. All right. If one more lady want to call in, let me go ahead and squeeze it in real quick. Just drop the number right there. Call in. You want to ask a question? Come on, Trey. Come on.
Oh man, you got me feeling like Shaq and Shuck right now.
So, so that question I asked earlier, right, while we waiting on the next person to call in. So, I have a running theory.
And what was the question? Just to remind us again.
What was it again?
God damn.
You don't remember your own question?
Y'all over 30.
Come on, man.
Why do we tend to tell people to leave rather than cheat? So I have a running theory. I think most people tend to say that because I don't know if this was on one of JR shows. I asked all the ladies on the panel, said on a scale from 1 to 10, how pissed off would you be if he left you? All of them said 10. Across the board. And I've asked many women the same question. So then I said, okay, on a scale from 1 to 10, how pissed off would you be if he cheated on you? Actually, shit, me and JR was actually surprised because the lady was like 7, 6, 8. But from the most response I got when I asked women in general work, they were like, oh, I'll still be mad. It's 10, right? I think the reason why people tend to tell people, why don't you leave me rather than cheat, is because they want to try to control how they're treated within a relationship for any reason, right? So they would tell that person, no, leave me, don't cheat on me. Don't hurt me in that way. I'd rather be hurting this way. You know what I mean? So, and I tell people this all the time. I said, you can't tell somebody how to respond to you. All you can do is move how you need to move. So for instance, a guy would say, okay, well, she hasn't given me any ass over the last 3 years. So he steps out on her. And she would say, well, why didn't you just leave me? Well, you can't choose how he responds. You can't choose what he does. All you can do is say, all right, I get that you did that, but now we can't be together anymore.
I got a response for that, Sweeney. I think I know what it is. It's just leave me so that you don't have to come back and tell me that this other woman could have been better than me in some area. Like that's really what breaks a woman's heart. Is if you come back and say, y'all seen that it was a meme out, and it was a scene from a movie, and you know, the lady was like, you know, she's not cuter than me, she's not funnier than me, she's not skinnier than me. Why did you cheat?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep, and all he did was tell her what the other woman was. So women, it's easy for you to just walk away, and they never have to hear, because most women think that they're the best thing. They would rather you leave instead of stick there and tell them that no, someone else was better than you in these areas, and I enjoyed it. It's a heartbreaking thing, and I think that's why it's just easier to say leave.
What's their hell? Their entire delusion was just shattered.
Well, no,
you shattered their entire delusion and hit them with reality, and now they're hurt more than anything, because they're like, so I'm not the apple of your eye. I'm not your entire world. I don't meet all of your needs in every single way. Like that ego crack, my women can't deal with that. They can't take it.
But like a lot of us get mistaken though. Like we just cheat for different reasons. Like men and women are completely different. Like we always like be comparing these things like they're the same, and it's so dumb because they're completely different. Like when a woman cheats, she's fully checked out emotionally. She does not love you anymore. It's just not the same. And like y'all got to realize that like like they did a study and they asked women. They said, would it bother you more, or which one hurts you more, if he emotionally cheats or if he physically cheated, like sexually cheated? All women, bisexual, gay, it doesn't matter what they are, they always answer emotionally cheating. And the reason why is because their investment, if they invested 3-4 years into you, that's their youth, or that's whatever it was, and they lost their investment. When you go to that other girl, it hurts, because that means that if you fell in love with her, if you're emotionally falling in love with her, she just lost her investment for the last 4 or 5 years, and she's fucked now. Whereas when a guy cheats, like when a guy always wants to know, did you fuck him? Like, did you physically have sex with that other guy? Because if you did that, that means that we can't tell if the babies was ours or not. That's why we really give a fuck about the sexual cheating. So we're just completely different. Whenever we sit here and we compare men and women all the time, like the cheating's the same, it's ridiculous. It's honestly stupid and so ridiculous, because men and women are completely different. And the reason why the woman would be hurt is completely different than why the guy would be hurt.
Sergio, if you remember Purple Pill, what's that?
I'm calling cap on that study. All those women who were surveyed lied. And I'm gonna tell you why they lied. Because it sounds deep. It sounds deep to say, oh, I care about the emotions. But let me, for most women, if they didn't care about the physical stuff, she doesn't ask you, how many times did you guys talk on the phone? How many times did you guys hold hands? How many times did you guys give cards? What she will say is, what did you do to her? What did you let her do to you? She wanted to know the details. Because the truth is,
that's how men think, sir. Hell, I know why you said that, because the study shows that's exactly what men say.
But I'm saying,
I know that's why you're projecting what a man would say.
That's what I'm saying. The study is off, because in real life, women want to know.
You're wrong. You're saying from a male perspective, and you are correct that that's what men think, but that's not
I
what
know what I'm saying. I'm saying women.
Dude.
I know what I'm saying.
Sir Hale, go read don't shoot the messenger, bro. Go read Evolution of Desire by Dr. David Buss. I'm not a doctor, bro. Go read the study your fucking self.
I'm acknowledging the study.
This is gays,
I don't believe it's
bisexual,
true.
all women. Dude, go read the book. Once again, don't shoot the messenger. Go read the fucking book.
No. So listen, this is not a shooting the messenger moment. I'm saying I'm validating what you said. I'm just saying I don't agree with that. I'm just saying I think it's so easy to say it's just men are just physical, women are just emotional, and with human beings, that's just not how it is. Now we're more or less. I'm saying we're more or less.
Majority.
I'm just saying we're more or less of the same things. So women do care or put more weight on the emotional side, but I'm saying that the physical side has some weight to it as well. And to be fair, if you love that woman, let me take. I'll explain the difference. There's a difference between a man cheating and an affair. Would you guys agree with this? Semantics, but there's a subtle difference. Cheating, just to everybody's point, a man could just stick his thing in anything and it mean nothing. An affair indicates that there's an investment in this relationship. That's emotion. I'm saying that both men and women share the same feelings and the same anger and rage, just to different degrees.
Yeah, but like I would say that the girl would be very hurt if she found out he had an affair, whereas if a guy cheated, she would probably be more likely to stay with him. The affair is more painful because she's losing her investment, her marriage, whatever it is, she's losing that with the affair. She's not losing that with the girl that just sucked his dick.
I'm saying you actually understand what I'm saying. Like we're actually agreeing on that.
Yeah, y'all really are. Y'all really are. Let me jump in real quick. And Sir Hale, I hear what you're saying, and I see where you're getting at, and I agree with where you're getting at. But I agree more with what Purple's going, the direction he's going. Anytime a man cheats and a woman finds out, what's the first thing the woman asks? First thing she typically asks is, "Do you love her? Do you love her?" It's not how many times did you fuck. What are the things that y'all did? It's, do you love her? Is number one. They want to know, because they want to know.
And what's wrong with me?
They want to know if their position is threatened, number one. And the second thing is that they want to know is that, what did she get? They want to know, did you get her a car? Do you pay for her rent or her mortgage? Do you have a kid with her? No. They want to know. They want to know how deep it is, and they want to make sure that she's not getting wifely like privileges that she gets. She's not on the same level as her. That's what she wants to make clear. She is not me. I'm the wife. I'm top dog. She can't be up here. If she gonna be around, she got to be down here. She's got to get McDonald's, and she's got to get, chicken wings and fries. You don't go on dates with her. You don't go in public with her. Like, she's backseat hitting it. alleyway, whatever. She's not getting the lay down. She's not getting the missionary. She's not getting the gazing in the eyes and the kissing. She's getting bend over, hit it, quit it, get out. That's what they want to know. So yes, they're more so on the emotional side than on the physical side. They want to know, is their position threatened? Do you love her? Is this going somewhere? Is this repeatable? Or is this just somebody you hit one time and you don't even remember her name?
Be mad.
That's
so to
what's
that
most
point,
important.
Cheat on your woman and then ask her to give you some head. And she gonna say, you better let the hoe give it to you. Because women care about the physical stuff as well. So that's all I'm saying. That the emotional part as well.
That's catty shit. That's catty stuff.
But hear what I'm saying though.
I agree with you. You're right.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's so easy to just make it women all emotional and men all physical. The truth is, listen, if you got a wife and that happened to you, that's gonna hurt your heart because you love that woman. And there's some emotional damage that's going to take place. And you can say we all tough and strong and men from the cave, but the truth is, if there's a hard investment, you care. And it's the same thing with the woman. The point though that I do want to make a distinction is you did make a good point, B Madden, and that grown women who are living life and got other stuff to worry about, they're not worried about stuff like that. But women in their 20s, those are some of the questions that they might ask. So that was a good point.
Yeah, and they want to know that too because they want to cheat back too, so they want to know that too.
Yeah, I got a caller. Hey, Joy, you there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm here. Hi, King. Thanks for the question. So, a couple of the men on the panel promote polygyny, and I would imagine that you might face a bit of opposition from a lot of women. But in the same token, based on the current thought culture that you guys talked about, it seems like it would be pretty easy for men who want polygyny to form a harem and move to PA and build your little community. So I'm wondering if you find it challenging to find the type of woman that you want that accepts polygyny, what's your plan if you can't? And are you willing to settle for a woman who would submit to that, but she also wants hers on the side? I'm talking about women in the United States.
Who in here wanted polygyny?
I think he was talking about Jay Stanza. He's not up here anymore. I don't get what the need is for it. I mean, why not just stay single? It's that easy. You don't have to worry about the confines of a relationship and worry about whether the relationship is polygamous or not if you just stay single. There's no need for it. If everybody is around fucking everybody and everybody stay single. It's that easy. Why get into these relationships and these marriages if you want to behave like you're single?
I think I'm gonna jump down a rabbit hole with you. I'll go pro polygamy because Jay's not here.
Oh hell.
No, I mean, hey, this is what we do, right?
Yeah.
It's a show. That's what we do. I'll say this. I'll say that they don't stay single because they still value relationships and people. They still value investing in somebody or something or building something. Most men like to build something. And you can only be single for so long, for so many years, whether it's 10 years, 20 years, whatever. You only want to be outside for so long before you say, hey, I found somebody that I connect with mentally, spiritually, in a whole bunch of different levels. And I love having sex with this person. I love being around this person, but I know I need a change up. I need more than one vaginal place to lay myself with. I need more. I know that about me. So then you're like, hey, are you open to this? But you have to start it off with that. You have to say, hey, this is what I'm into. This is what I like. You can't go one way and then flip when you already got her, you're already married, or you're already engaged and say, hey, I actually want to do polygamy. You can, and it's happened, but that's a lot. That's an uphill battle right there. And then let's say, you don't just have one soulmate in this life. Maybe you have two. Maybe you have three. I don't know. What if the woman you like bisexual women? What if you like women that like women? And then she's saying, I need to have a woman in my life too. I love you. I want to do this thing called life with you, but I'm still attracted to women. Then what? Then you start looking at, okay, well, let's talk about bringing a woman in, and then now y'all have like a tripod situation. It's three of y'all.
No, be mad.
I was gonna say,
No. Yeah, see,
No, that
we
happens. That's real.
We curating these fantasies for men. The lady who
Yep, I was
called
just
in
about to,
is being very
I was about to
specific.
hold on. I was about to go there,
You wanna
Hill.
have her stuff on the
I was about
side.
to go there, Hill.
Yeah, come on.
These
I
are
was
the
about to go
examples
there.
I'm going with.
All right,
If you
Sir
want
Hill,
another
Sir Hill.
example, we can
How
do
is that?
If you want.
Hold on, wait,
So
fellas.
part of her question was, well, if she wants to get some on the side, was part of the young lady's question. So that's what I'm addressing. Now, if you're saying if she wants to get some on the side from a man, from another man, that's got to be with the man that's open to that. Me personally, I'm the only dick in any of my fantasies, period. So that's not happening whatsoever. And I'm not dating somebody that wants multiple men. If she got to love me and want me and only me, that's how I operate.
But I think that's her question. I think that's her question.
But you know what,
other
though?
people might be different.
But here's the thing, though. This is why I said this a while ago. One of the first things you ever hear women say when a guy says, when we talk about this on these panels, you can see it in the chat, back to back to back. Guys talk about, oh, well, I want to be able to have multiple women. I want to be able to move this way in these polygamous relationships. And every woman responds the exact same way. Can I get mines too? They not buying the whole I'm gonna be, because in their mind they're like they want to be the only pussy in a relationship, but you're saying, hey, well, I want other ones. So now her response is, well, I mean, if you get to do what you're gonna do, then they honestly feel like they should be able to get it too. And we living in a modern society where people are trying to do these modern dating strategies and things like that. And I guess that's what the caller is alluding to, is that she's like, well, is it okay for her to dabble as well?
Well, Sweeney, I think it's a little
everybody-
different when it comes to relationships and dating. If you're in a relationship with two women, it's cheating if you have sex with somebody outside of the two of them. Women just want honesty and truth at the end of the day. That's what's most important. If they agree, hold on. They want to be able to make the decision. They want honesty so they can make the choice if they want to participate in something like that or not. They want the freedom of that. When you lie is when you snatch away that freedom for them to make that choice. That's when you have a problem. Go ahead.
Be mad at him. Like, but the thing is, like, we're all looking at this from like broke boy point of views. Like, what the fuck, y'all? Like, it's only the rich guys that are asking for this. And if it's a broke guy asking for this, he's a loser. Like what she's talking about. Like, if it's a broke guy who's like, oh, I'm trying to be polygynous now. I'm waiting for my 4 wives to come. That guy's a loser. The only guys that are actually exercising options like this are fucking valuable men that are multimillionaires. They can take care of all the women very well. The women are happy about it because they're sister wives and they take care of each other's kids easier. It's not like we're looking at all this from like broke boy point of view shit right now. It's like, bro, think about guys who have the money to actually do these type of things.
The resources.
Like there's people in Muslim countries.
Broke men also participating in polyamorous.
And I'm saying those guys are losers.
Hold on,
I'm saying those guys are losers.
Let me get Jen in there.
Those guys are losers.
Let me get Jen
for
in
getting the same results.
Jenny, you still there?
Oh, did she jump off?
Joy? Yeah, I'm
sorry,
here.
Joy. I'm sorry. My
I'm here.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to follow up or not.
Well, I think my question is more around their challenge of. It seems like they're not able to find that type of woman because they're always on here ranting. I can think of the 2 guys I'm talking about. I can't remember their names, but they're ranting about women. You know, the problem is they don't accept polygyny. We need to go back to the way it was. So it seems to me like they can't find this. So I'm wondering, what is their game plan if they can't find the type of woman that they want to accept this? Because it seems like they're having a hard time finding it.
Most men are not capable of this, right? No matter how far we go back in history, it's always been the top tier men who have been able to accomplish this. That's it, right? Only the top tier men are able to experience that. Now, what I will say, if you are a poor boy like we're talking about tonight, you would just have to be extremely manipulative. And I know some people who got a mouthpiece like that, pause, that are able to manipulate women into doing anything. So you either really, really need to have the gift of gab, or you need to be a man that's extremely desirable for it to work. And as far as it actually being a successful relationship where people are living together and everything else, yeah, you can only have one sausage per household. Like it's not a go. There's no way that a dude ever adds to an equation in a positive manner. You can't have two dudes or better. It's just not going to work. Like most men that aren't cucks don't want another dude involved in his situation, right? And for the us normal people, it's really unrealistic for any of us to be able to do it. I would say you're probably going to get about 1 out of 100 relationships that actually are able to successfully get off any type of poly situation. And as far as women being able to do it with multiple dudes, there's always going to be some type of situation that's not. I've seen it happen, right? Like if you watch channels like TLC or whatever, sometimes you'll see some nonsense like that. But when you look at the caliber of men,
one in a million.
They're picking from the bottom of the barrel with these dudes. You can just tell that they're not confident. They're not capable. Go ahead.
I'm gonna have to disagree. See, here's the thing: we're arguing this polygamous relationships from a cultural standpoint in America. In the United States of America, polygamy was never really a thing in this country. This country was built on monogamous relationships. So when you talk about polygamy inside this country, most of those dudes are being cheated on. They're women fucking the pool boys. They're fucking the landscaper. As a matter of fact, they even know about it. The husbands even know about it. These are the same people that participate in swingers parties. They do a whole lot up there to satisfy. Like these aren't the same type of women that we're talking about that may occur in like the Middle East or something like that, where these guys have multiple wives and they're doing like different things. No. In this country, in America, where we've been the freest sexually for the last 40, 50, 60, 70 years, that is not happening over here.
But we're talking about two different things. There's polygyny and polyamory. Look at
I'm talking about
polygyny.
Let me jump in real quick. So
I'm talking about polygyny, just a man, not the woman, just a man. Polygyny.
Yeah, let me answer your question real quick. The answer is I don't care how many. This is how most men think. Now we could say there's some men who did. The majority, by and large, if a man has 5 wives, heck no, he could have 1,200. He don't want you with any other man. That's most men. So even if he agrees to have multiple wives, it is embedded in most men. Even the men who accept that there was something deep down in most men that I don't care if I've got 1,000 wives. You can't have anybody else. You were made for me. And even if you don't see me until next month, I expect you to be completely committed and loyal, because that's how most men are. So to answer your question, for most men, even if you guys agree to it, no man in his right mind is going to agree to his wife. If he says he loves her, especially, and values her, he's not going to agree to you being able to be piped down by another man. It's just not going to happen in most cases.
Yeah, and the thing is, the reality is that in this country, that shit's not real. It's not really a thing. I know we're culturally trying to make it a thing. It will never be a thing over here. As long as you can, hold on, wait, let me finish. As long as the government only allows you to marry one person, as long as we have the cultural setup that we have right now, it would never. Polygamy is not a thing in this country. I know we try to make it that way. It's polyamory. There's a lot of people out there screwing around with each other and these like new age relationships, but polygamy is not a thing.
But so like it's already naturally going on right now. The girls are already all fucking the top guys, bro. Just some girls know about it and some girls don't. So like polygyny is already happening. It's just a matter of sometimes it's hush hush and sometimes it's not. But dude, I know so many girls that are dating drug dealers or dating dudes that like make a bunch of money, and there's two of them. There's a bunch of girls that are doing this little duo thing, and it's 2 girls with 1 guy. Now, are they married? Are they like having a farm together and making kids and shit? No, but there's a lot of these polygyny relationships where it's 1 guy with 2 girls, or 1 guy with 3 girls, or it's 1 dude spinning plates on 5 or 6 bitches. Bitches don't spin plates like that, bro. They have a roster of 5 and they're smashing one. Most women are smashing 1 guy on a roster, and then they got 1 guy to take them to dinner, 1 guy to text message, 1 guy to talk to on calls, 1 guy to take them on vacation. Men and women are just different, bro. Like
all of that counts, bro.
5 different girls in 1 week.
All of that counts. All of that counts.
I'm just saying there's way
all
more
of that counts
than you think. There's a lot of polygyny going on, whether it's like being said or not. There's a
I'm
lot
not.
of
And that's for the people that are in the streets right now, that are outside, that's single right now, that's not married, that's dating in this current environment. That is very, very
But
true.
yeah, that's not her question though. Her question was more so there's guys who come on these panels who talk about this, and her point was if most women don't want this, then are
Apparently
those
they
kind of
don't.
men going to settle for a woman who, you know, just with one woman? That was the question.
Hey, Joy, are you still there?
well,
Here, I just want to make one other point. I feel like I would argue that the men, they say that it's unrealistic for men to be with one woman, and monogamy is unrealistic. But I would argue that the woman that they really want is not going to accept that. Somebody mentioned that these women are easily manipulated. I don't think men want women who are easily manipulated, for example. So I'm just saying that realistically, most women in this country who are going to accept that are going to cheat on you. It's as simple as that's something that you're going to have to accept.
That is a fact.
Because most women who value loyalty and really want to be faithful to their man and really see him as their king, they're going to want loyalty in return. So I'm not saying that it's unrealistic to have polygyny. I'm just saying that it's unrealistic to have it with the type of woman that you may want to call your queen.
Hey,
I
Trev.
have a question for you. What is your definition of loyalty?
One woman, one man. Sexual loyalty. I mean, there's different levels of loyalty, different types of loyalty, but I'm talking about sexual in a marriage.
So you're looking for sexual loyalty. That is the paramount thing that women in this country want from men. That's what you're saying?
I'm saying there's a certain type of woman who's looking for that. And I think that that's the type of women that a lot of respectable men want, is that type of woman. Because again, that type of woman who's willing to give that and willing to devote herself in that way, she's going to expect that in return. So I'm not saying it's unrealistic to have it. I'm just talking about the type of woman you may want.
Ma'am, all
It
you
depends on the
actually do
man.
is just
It depends if you're a top level man. If you're a top level man and you're truly him, you can have who you want for the most part. Usually it's different. It's not scarcity mindset for the guys that are top tier. It's not, because you have to look at the math. Like women outnumber men significantly on every level. So
No, I disagree. No, if you're going to marry a woman and you take the same vows she does about being faithful, honor your vows. Now, if you can't honor the vows, then you expect her to, then you need to not get married. But I think what we
everybody's
do is
vows are a little different.
let me finish. I think what we do as men is we like to fantasize about our freedom and being that top dude, and then justify because we're top level. No, if you're going to take vows with your wife and y'all take same vows, and you expect her to hold up her end of the bargain, then you need to do the very same thing as well. And we got to promote that when it comes to marriage. Now, outside of marriage, I can't speak on. But for marriage, there's got to be one woman for one man. That's what I believe.
Hey, Trev, I got a question for you. Because I seen on your social media, you interview a lot of women. Interview a lot of them. When it comes to them being cheated on or them dealing with a dude that wants to have multiple women, what do they say in that regard? Do they say, "Oh yeah, I'm"? Go ahead.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No. Go ahead. I already knew you about to answer. You was about to answer. I don't need to add no more.
So
context.
you would say what women are asking, if they want to be cheated. What's their answer to if they would accept being cheated on?
Yep.
Oh, they don't think that they see. Every woman feels like they're good enough to not be cheated on, right? But you have to understand that when you're dealing with certain men who have access to way more women, that the demand is just higher, right? You have to earn that. You can't just get with a winner and then expect to do regular stuff. If you're not with a regular dude, you can't do regular things. You're going to have to be exceptional just because he is exceptional and he has too much access to women. You can't ever fall off. Go ahead.
Hold on, I get what we're trying to get them to understand. I'm asking you, what do they say? Not what we try to get them to understand, but what do these women say?
Most women do not want to be cheated on, no matter who they get. And that's the fact. Most women think that they don't have to be cheated on, right? There are some women who understand, but it's an overwhelming majority of women that feel like a man should be faithful, right? But here's the thing that we have to take in consideration. We all know any man whose experiences has dealt with enough women understand that you can never, ever believe what a woman says. What you have to believe is what a woman responds to, which are almost always two very different things. Women always tell you, hey, listen, no, I would never deal with a man who cheats. And they with a man who cheats, they know about it. He's cheated on them several times and they won't leave. That's the problem. If a woman values you enough, there's very little that you can do to make her leave. If she feels like she has an opportunity for a bigger, better deal, she might. But most times she won't. As long as she understands that you are the best option that she has, she's probably going to stick around.
It's true, but it's flawed. And I'm gonna tell you why. What if it was your daughter who came to you and she was getting cheated on? Are you going to tell her, hey?
I'll tell you straight up.
This
I'll
is
tell
what
you
it
straight
is.
up what to say.
Well,
No, I'll tell you straight up what you say, bro.
Are you going to be cool with your daughter being cheated on and her heart is broken? She's coming to you crying.
I have a daughter. And like I said, this isn't what I practice, right? I don't say that I go out here and cheat. I'm going to absolutely school her on what is important about a man and what isn't. And you don't always you have to get somebody who's really into you, somebody who wants to treat you well, and not everybody. If
your daughter comes to you and she says, my husband is cheating on me and my heart is broken and she's depressed, you're gonna say, hey, babe, it is the game. Top level man.
It is part of the game. It is part of the game, unfortunately, right? And it's up to her what she's going to do. There are some people who are going to say, yo, you know what? You should stay. You have to weigh your options, right? Are you going to be in a better situation? It's going to be some nuance there. Or is your life going to be better by staying with him after this? Or do you understand that he's probably going to continue to do this because once you let him back, he got away with it. He might do it again. Do you think your life is going to be better or worse?
Trev, it's way simple, bro. This is very simple.
Go ahead.
This is what you tell your fucking daughter. I have a daughter too. Every man is capable of cheating, okay? Whether it's the broke guy or
the rich guy,
the fucking rich guy, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
What her goal should be is to get the rich guy. So if she does get cheated on, at least she's crying in a fucking Bentley. And then on top of that, get the fucking ring as soon as possible. Get the fucking ring so you get leverage and you can leave if you so choose or do whatever. But get the fucking ring. It's very simple. That's very simple.
Now, for what you said, Sergio, I'm going to mentally disagree with.
So in other words,
hold on. Everybody keep throwing this cheating word around. Everybody keep talking cheating. I've never talked about cheating. I've talked about exercising options this entire time. I've been preaching being honest, being upfront, and telling them exactly who you are. If I'm listening to what Trev is saying, I come from an athlete background. I come from NFL background, NFL players, all that kind of stuff. Like, they know what the deal is when they get with you. They know you blue checked up. They know you got money in the bank. They know you're highly touted. They know there's women trying to grab at you and get at you at every turn. When you're on the road at the games, when you're at home, when you're pretty much everywhere, All-Star game, Super Bowl, whatever. They're always trying to get at you. It's not cheating if they know what they're getting into. Now, if you're telling her it's just me and you, it's nobody else, I'm never going to stick my dick nowhere else, I'm 1,000% faithful to you physically, blah, blah. If you're saying all that, then yes. And you're going outside, yes, you're cheating. You're cheating and you're lying. But if you're being open and honest and upfront and they know what they're getting into, those are the ones Trev is talking about that stays. And those are the ones Trev is talking about. They're the ones that understand what the situation is.
And they're going to be fucking somebody else.
Hold on. But Trev, tell me if I'm wrong. Trev, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Okay.
You're not wrong. And secondly, to kind of answer what Purple Pill was talking about, boom. There are some men that I know that I have in my circle who have the fear of God or for whatever reason, right, just decide that they're not going to cheat and have no desire to cheat. Is that likely? Are there a lot of men like that? No. Just like there's a lot of men who are very successful, right? That's extremely rare all in itself. And then there are some men who just don't desire to cheat. I know some men like that. Like they go out, they don't even drink, they just don't want to do anything ungodly. You know what I mean? You have to find one of those men who are less likely. You can't eliminate risk, period, but you can certainly mitigate it. You go ahead and get with the man who has the fear of God in him or whatever. Just his moral point is,
bro,
his moral
it's just
compass
it's
is pointing north.
it's just being
You can't stop
realistic
it.
with them. It's just being real. Like you
Yeah.
got to tell your kids to live in reality. You got to say this is reality. Every man. I said, listen to what I said. I said every man is capable of cheating on you. I didn't say every man does cheat. I said every man is capable of doing it. You need to tell them these type of honest truth. And also, I want to say to the lady on the call, or just any woman, or Sweeney, also to you, bro. If a woman's first reaction is to go cheat on you after you did something, she's a vengeful bitch, bro. Like, what the hell? Like, she's the worst type of person. Like,
Are you fucking
any
serious,
woman
bro?
that
Are
is
you fucking serious? Get the whole hell out of here, bro.
Yeah, Sergio, I can't take you
I'm
serious.
not talking about revenge, though. I'm talking about,
Come on, man.
I'm talking about an arrangement, not revenge, but.
Well, no,
Come
well, yeah,
on,
if it
bro.
was
Are you
set up,
we
but I'm
ain't playing
saying
that.
that
We
if
ain't
her
playing them
immediate
games.
reaction is I want to go sleep
Joy,
with
I
another person, you're
want you
vengeful.
to.
And Joy, if you want to go sleep with another guy because your man went and slept with another girl, you don't love your man anymore. You seriously do not love your man if you want to go sleep with another guy. Yeah, because women are emotionally attached when they have sex. Unless she's a whore and she has 20, 30, 40 body count, yeah, dude, she is going to fall in love with one of those
This
other
is
guys that she's sleeping
wild.
with.
Sergio,
This
I want
is
to say this.
wild.
I want to say this
Sweeney, read a book
publicly.
on
You are
evolutionary. Read one
completely
book on
off
evolutionary
in what you're
psychology.
saying.
Read one book on
Completely
evolutionary
off.
psychology. Just
Now,
read one
listen,
book,
so
y'all.
Joy,
Read one book on it.
so Joy,
So
in the
hell,
net of it, most people want to be with somebody who's going to be faithful to them. Like a lot of these cases we're talking about are outliers. Most people want somebody that's going to be
Outliers.
faithful. And just because men cheat, we don't want our women to cheat as well. So, like, to answer your question, I think that most people are going to have to be okay with finding a person and being loyal to that person. Because as you get older, you're not going to have the time, energy, or resources to keep an affair going on. You're going to want somebody to be there in those critical moments. So that's what I say. All the stuff we're talking about is great for conversation. In reality, it doesn't work that way. And I'll even take purple pills. He gets married to somebody. He said, "You know what? Let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm a man. I'm a top tier man, and I got. That's not how it's going to go. I can guarantee it's not how it's going to go.
No, I won't get
It might
married
work
if
for the
I'm
first
going
2
to do
years.
that.
It might
I
work for
wouldn't
the
get
first 2
married.
years. It's not going to work like that for a lifetime. Not for a woman who's having your kids and she wants to raise productive kids. That's not the way reality works.
You don't get married if
Hell,
that's
even
what
Bill
you
Gates'
choose.
wife
If
had a
that's
side
what you
piece.
want. If that's what you
get
want, you
married
just
to your
don't get
wife,
married.
and that
Like
ring,
it's
if you
very
take it
simple.
seriously, stuff changed, bro. That's real talk. You get married to a woman, y'all could go in talking about all the right stuff. You give her that ring, and she takes that ring seriously, her mindset will change if she really loves you. And that's what I'm saying. So you go in there, you can go into all the hard stuff, but the truth is, ain't no woman who loves you and wants to raise productive kids wants to put herself in that environment. That's just not realistic.
That's not most people.
Once
Most
again,
people are not doing that.
yeah, and I agree.
Most
I'm
women
not
ain't doing
telling
that.
anybody to get
Most
married. I'm
people
not
aren't.
telling
That's
anybody to
true.
get. I'm not telling anybody to get married and do something like this. Like, and I'm personally not going. If I was to get married, I would not cheat because I'm getting married. Like but say like me and my girl broke up, okay, and in 5 years I become a multi-millionaire. I'm making $10 million a year, okay? I'm killing it or something. And I have so many women throwing themselves at me, and they're like, I love you so much. I want to have your kids. I want to live on our farm and grow our own food and do all this stuff. And I'm open to you having other women because I love you so much and you're able to provide such an amazing life. I'm open to that. There are
She's got
some
other
women
men
that
on
are
the side
like
as
that.
well. If
Well,
she
no.
says that,
But if
she
she
got other men on the
truly has
side.
burnt, no, Sir Hell, you don't understand how women have burning genuine desire completely different than men do. Like men and women are different. Everything that we always talk about, you
I
always
think you don't want that for pool boy. Either you'll be mad at
hold on. Sir Hell, hold on. Everything that you always talk about, bro, I completely agree with you that if you have a body count, if you and your wife both have a body count of say under 5, I agree with everything you always say, but we live in a hedonistic, crazy fucking society where we're all basically animals. So you need to go read Evolution of Desire by Dr. David Buss, or Hormonal by Marty Hazelton, or Alpha God by Dr. Hector Garcia, these people who do studies on people across the globe to see how we are in general across the population, 51%, 60%, how most of us are. I understand that you're an exception to the rule, but most people are not.
No,
bro.
I will
So it
not
doesn't
accept that.
work.
That's typically how somebody dismisses your perspective by saying you're the exception to the rule. I'm not an exception. I represent most people who want to be in a loyal, committed relationship. This is, guys, this is more normal than we want to make it. And I know there's books out here that speaks to, listen, I read all of these books. What I'm saying though is in mass, most people want to come home to one person. And I can guarantee you love your daughter. If your daughter comes home from being cheated on and her heart is broken, there's going to be something in you that wants to go hurt the dude who hurt her heart. Am I lying about this?
Of course, but I'm going to teach my daughter once again
But
reality
that was the question. I got the other part. I got the other part, but that's my point. So it's something instinctually, he knows that you seeing your daughter hurt, that's wrong, and that's what most people feel, and that's all that I'm saying.
I'm saying, but it's still different at the end of the day. Like we keep comparing men and women to the same thing, and it's ridiculous. Like every time you try to say it's the same when one person doesn't, and when we're both two physically, emotionally, completely different things, we're blank slating. It's the same thing that that the left does all the time. We cannot blank slate this stuff every day. Like you got to start understanding that it's okay to be honest with reality and say, hey, honey, to your daughter, this is how men can be. I want you to find the best man you can. Go to church, find a fucking awesome Christian dude, keep your virginity, find another man who's a virgin. But if you want to go out there in the crazy world, this is how it can be.
This goes against what you talk about. On your show, you specifically talk about how most women have more options than men and how most men on the planet are not having as much sex as women. But now you're saying something completely different. That's what I'm saying. In reality. No, in reality. What I'm saying is most men aren't having as much sex and women are. So you can't say that most women want to be faithful when more women are having more sex than most men. That's the point that I'm saying. Like, so the numbers that you're talking about, these are great numbers, but you can massage them in whatever you want to say. When it comes down to most people, not the rich and the fluent and the famous, most people want a woman to come home to, and a woman wants a man to come home to, and they both want to make sure that they're both loyal. That's most people.
I think the gap here between the two. Yeah, real fast. I think the gap between you guys more so is that, Hale, you're more so talking about the majority of people, which I absolutely agree. It is, when it comes to numbers, the majority of the people do want one person to come home to and one person to be loyal to. Purple, I think you're more so speaking from a age perspective and a particular generation. In a particular age range, more modern dating today and now is what I think you're more so speaking to. And I agree what you're saying based on that piece.
Well, if he's speaking on the more modern,
we got to get Joy in there real quick because she got to get out.
Go ahead,
Joy.
Okay, I just want to say about these top earners that I can't see who the gentleman was because I'm not on that screen, but I've dated these top earners and I've said hell no to polygyny. So just because he makes a lot of money does not give him the right to step out on a woman, or to think that just because he makes a lot of money, every woman is going to respect that or accept that. And also, I just think that as human beings, we all have this natural inclination to run like heck away from the things that are painful to us. Kind of like slavery. Mr. Lecco always says, don't nobody care what women think. There was a time when white people said, don't nobody care what black people think. But black people got tired of the whips because it was painful. And Kunta Kinte, they cut off his leg, but guess what? He ran with the other leg. That's just what we do as humans. When we're faced with something that's painful. So you can't blame women for doing what we have to do to be able to take care of ourselves in the event that we're left with a bunch of men who want to subject us to man sharing. That's all I'm saying.
George, to your point, though, I agree with most of what you said, but a man does have a right to want polygyny, and you have the right to not accept. Right. So I want to make sure that that's stated.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But they're angry at us for becoming modern and being able to take care of ourselves and not accept that.
Nope. That's not it. Nobody's mad about a woman who is doing what they need to do. Well, no, I'm gonna tell you, for most people, period, right? A lot of women think that this vitriol comes from women actually earning and protecting themselves. That's not it. We are mad about what comes with it, because like we always say, when men start to earn, we never run around and say, oh, I'm independent. I'm independent. We would sound like an idiot. So when men start to earn money, we start thinking of ways to serve our family. When women start making money, they think about their independence, aka self. That's the problem.
No
and
man.
then also,
I don't need no
I don't
man.
need one.
Nobody tell me what to do.
What are you here
I
for?
got my
So
own
that's
money.
the problem. We don't like what comes with it. Go ahead.
When I said that, I was thinking about a previous show where a person made the point that women all out here taking care of themselves. They need to go back to the way it was in the olden days when men had multiple women. But my point is, women, as I'll speak for myself, as a woman, I would rather be independent than submit to that. So it's not that I want to be independent. I want to be out here taking care of myself. I don't need a man. It's just that I'm not going to submit to that. I would rather be independent and take care of myself than do that.
How do you feel about the word submit?
I think she's just speaking specifically to submitting to being in a polyamorous relationship.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Submitting to polygyny, not submitting to a man.
You won't be the only woman.
Yeah, Ms. Joy, just let me say this to you. So most men, we don't want our women to be independent. We don't want that. And I think what happens is, and I feel very bad for a lot of my Black women and minorities. And the reason I say that is because y'all have been indoctrinated on every level. You buy makeup, indoctrination. You go to school, indoctrination. A lot of y'all go to church, indoctrination. Political party, indoctrination. And what it has done is you tie yourself to the things you have and to your job and to your degrees. And the basic instinct that you have to love people and to be relational, that's suppressed until later in life. And so most men today, we're not looking for the independent woman, and nothing that a man does has made that. I think we got to give the responsibility where it's due, and that's big corporations. Corporations who aim to break up families, to break up relationships, to profit off of women's insecurities. That has had a lot to do, and a lot of our women bought into that. And it is that men are getting the backlash. Like, I can overcome your point by saying this. If you listen to most of these panels, you hear men talking about relationships because we've always wanted them. And we're trying to get women to get rid of all the other indoctrination that has made you turn away from wanting and being okay with being a wife and being a mother without feeling like you're less than and that you mean nothing to the world, right? So we don't want independent women. And I would say, even if you have a great job and have a great career and have great education, do not let what society deems as a smart, sophisticated, the it girl, don't let that suppress your basic biological wiring to want to be relational, to want to be a good wife to a man, and to want to raise productive kids. I say this to any woman who wants to get married. A job, a career, and education comes second to your man and your family. And as long as you keep that in mind, I think you're going to be okay.
Absolutely. I embrace that innate desire that we as women have to want to be a mother, a wife. And I don't believe in independence over family, but I do believe that if a woman has certain values and she believes in one woman, one man, and the sanctity of marriage, then that woman, I think that she would be wise to choose to remain. If she's constantly running into men who are saying, oh, I want to be in an open marriage. I want to eventually, when you have kids, I might want another woman. If she's constantly running into these men, I don't think there's anything wrong with her making a decision saying, you know what, I would rather be single and I might just have to take care of myself because I'm not willing to settle for that. That's all I'm saying.
Also,
here's the thing, Joy. The majority of men aren't really saying that. The vast majority of men aren't saying that at all. The vast majority of men are just trying to get one woman.
That's a fact.
Because the vast majority of men can't get one woman because a lot of these women are too independent for one man, or they're shooting for the stars to get the top of the creme de la creme of the richest and most powerful and the most influential men, and they end up on their roster because they can't land those guys, or those guys aren't ready to fully commit or settle.
That's a fact. Joy, so
also,
go ahead, Swinny. Go.
And then also to add to that, because she said that these guys were mad, or that men have been mad about the way that women have been going. And Trev was starting to allude to it. It comes with we're not upset that y'all are independent. Because the thing is, if you're going to go out there and be independent, fine. By all means, go and do so. The problem that we have is that you're independent to a certain point, and then you circle back around, and now you want us to then you look at the men and say, well, now I want to be taken care of. Whereas for men, we understand, hey, independent means you're independent for life. You got to take care of yourself for life. There's no retirement plan for us. So that's basically what we're saying. It's like, if you got to pick a side. Either you're gonna be independent and do your own thing, or you're gonna get with a man and do life with a man. But you can't have it both ways. You can't have it all. And I think that's where men kind of allude to when we're like, why do y'all act as if you can have it all rather than picking, you know what I mean? Because life is about choices and trade-offs.
Well, I think for the
You
type
can't
of
be an independent married
for
woman.
the type of
You
woman
can't be an
that's
independent married woman.
for the type of woman that it's talking about, I think it's not a choice, independence versus married. I think it's more of a last resort. Like if we're living in this culture where cheating is rampant, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to put myself in this situation. It's the last resort, not a choice. You know what I mean? It's not something that I'm saying, oh, I'm going to go out here and chase independence.
I would disagree, because you're taught to be independent at an early age. Well, you wasn't cheated on at 8 years old when your mama told you to get an education. You wasn't cheated on or being done wrong by men.
But Sweeney, you bring up a good point. So even though she may not have been cheated on, it's possible, and I'm not saying this is in Joy's case, but this is where a lot of women get the independent indoctrination from a woman who was cheated on, right? So you get your education, you get up and you go be successful, so you never have to depend on a man. So you're right. She personally wasn't, affected by it, but the training she got was from somebody who may have got cheated on, and maybe it wasn't her that got cheated. Maybe it was the grandma, and we just keep passing down this independent, type of talk.
Trauma.
And the thing is why, and I agree with you, Sir Hill. The problem with that is, and this is just me speaking out against that, not necessarily because I understand that may just be what is, right? Here's my opposition to why that shouldn't be. Nobody should have to carry on the trauma of someone else and carry that in their own lives. Just because your mama experienced something, just because your auntie or your brother or our fathers experienced something, doesn't mean we go into life with the same fear of, with the same fear. You're not supposed to carry that trauma with you. You're supposed to go and live your life. You know what I mean?
So I think, Sweeney, I think what you're alluding to is a good point. Let's ask Joy. Joy, if you don't want to ask him, it's okay. But did you either experience being cheated on, or the women you knew were cheated on?
Oh, both.
And there we go. So, Sweeney, that's what I'm saying.
And let me just clarify too. When I talk about independence, I'm not talking about the women's movement independence. I'm talking about like just the ability to take care of herself if she doesn't want to submit to one of these marriages, like financially independent. I'm not talking about independent and like, I don't need a man. I don't care about the man's opinions. I'm going to move on my own. I'm not talking about that mentality. I'm just talking about the ability to take care of herself if she doesn't want to be in that situation.
The problem is when women are financially independent, she does all those other things that you just mentioned, that you said that you're not talking about. When a woman is financially independent, she does all of those things. No, I don't need a man. Everything else that you just mentioned leading up to that, she does every bit of that when she is financially independent. And that's the problem that we have with women who lead with their financial independence. And that's what I was referring to when I said we don't like what comes with it. Yeah. For sure.
They lead with their education or with their financial independence.
You don't want a woman who makes enough to pay the bills. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's
no. It's about you're talking about independent. So that means your bills. You're essentially talking about being financially independent, like just being an adult.
Be madam. The difference,
like being a grown human adult.
Independent. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Right.
You're grown.
There's a difference in that. There's a difference in being able to pay your own bills and pay your own rent and pay your own car note. And there's a difference between just being an independent woman. We're speaking against being an independent woman and all the indoctrination that comes along with that, and all the societal stuff that's coming with that, all the traumas and statistics that's coming along with that. What sounds like you're speaking on is just being an adult, and we don't have a problem with you being an adult. That's being grown. Handle your business as you should as a grown person, but also be open enough to relationships and being under a man and being with a man and be able to work hand in hand with a man and be in a relationship with a man and grow and build a family with a man. That's what we want. That's what we care about. Not all the other I'm right here, you're right here, and we're both arguing over the same thing. We're both fighting over finances and fighting over who's more educated. That we don't play those games. We don't do that.
B man, and that's well said, sir. So Joy and Jay, I got to go after this. This has been dope. So what B Madden is spoke on is profound. That's really what we want. So stop labeling yourself as a independent woman, because it does two things. Number one, it brings in all these years of negative connotation that's associated with it. And then you're feeding yourself that you don't need a man on a subconscious level. Every time you say, I'm independent, I can pay my own bills. What you notice, independence, you're listing everything that a traditional man would normally do. You're literally telling yourself and giving yourself a reason to not need a man. So instead of doing that, you're a responsible woman. And I would say, if you want to see different outcomes, you got to get rid of that fear that's in your heart about being cheated on. Good women who get hurt and they love deeply and they still got to keep on living. They got kids and got work to do. A lot of times you work and you don't really heal. You just adjust to the pain and you kind of carry a residue of that in all of your relationships. So I'm hearing your questions, but I'm hearing what's not being asked. And so I'm hoping that you take some time and really dig down into what you saw, into the cheat, into that pain, whatever that's there, and then change that narrative, make it make some sense, and then move forward. Because if you don't, you're going to be independent for the rest of your life, because you're going to always see something in a man that triggers reasons that he's going to cheat. So you got to fix that so you can be happy and stop carrying around that fear, because I hear it coming through your voice without even seeing your face.
I like that, Sir Hill. Responsible women. Thank you.
I kind of got to go, fella.
I was.
I take care, Sal.
Okay, I appreciate everything he said, and I think that I still am hearing echoes at me. I think that I have overcome that. It's been years since that happened. I have overcome that. I was just thinking of. Am I still on?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
still on?
you go ahead. We're about to ready to
Oh,
end in like 3
I'm
minutes.
sorry.
So go
That's
ahead.
right. I'm thinking of a comment in the past where a man said on the panel something to the effect of, women, they're getting married later, they're going to school, they're getting a degree, they're working, and they're not getting married at like 19, 20 anymore, having kids. And I just think that, circling back to what I said before, I just think that because of this, we're in a totally different age now, where there's different expectations for marriages. Like, people want to have women in situations that they're just not comfortable being in. So although I don't agree that, women should have the mentality that they're independent, they don't need a man, I just don't see anything wrong with them setting themselves up for success in case, A, they get married and it goes wrong, and then, go ahead.
Okay. Here's the major gripe I have with that. Why can't two things be right at the same time? Why is it that females feel like if they prioritize their career that they just can't be in pursuit of a decent man at the same time? How difficult is that to do, right? Nobody says you need to put your life on hold because you're taking a risk. We don't know that you ultimately will find a man. We don't know that. So, but why can't you do both? Why do you feel like you have to only go to school, only work on your career? You could still be dating. You could still be vetting men. Like, it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to sleep with everybody. If you take your time with men who are like-minded, right? The best place to be honest, while women are in school, that is the best place. The husband is probably somebody who's not there yet, right? What Kevin Samuels used to refer to as what? A Henry, right? or at least he's on his way. He's on his way to getting where he needs to be. You have a man who has the potential, a man that's building himself, and you're not waiting for him at the finish line. A man will doubt you for the rest of your life, or at least for who knows, decades, even if he doesn't know. If you never met him before he got on, he never really will know where or why you wanted him. They're not going to understand that part. That's the main issue. But if you know you got with this dude in college, you understood him for his potential before he got on. You didn't wait for him at the finish line. Then you're like, okay, cool. This is somebody who's riding with me. And as I grow, as men, this is how we think as men. With us, when we see that you are here before we got to the finish line, while you here in the mud, you here while we grinding, we appreciate that for the rest of our lives, and we will be loyal to you in that way. That's how men express their loyalty, not necessarily sexually, but that's loyalty. I'm going to take care of you for the rest of your life because you was down with me before. That's how you experience a man's loyalty right there. So it doesn't make sense for women to say, hey, I'm going to focus on my career only. There's 24 hours in a day. You don't have to be with a man the whole day. You just could be vetting someone. You could go out on dates on the weekends when you don't have classes or don't have work. Like, there's so many things that you can do. I don't understand it because men find the time to date. We do everything that we need to do, right? We're going to do what we want to do. No matter how focused we are on career, we may minimize the amount of women, but we still could find a stable woman if we want to, or if we wanted 50 women, we still could be productive and do it. As long as we are not chasing women, we'll be okay. And you don't have to chase men either. All you have to do is date, vet, take one at a time. It's the best time to start. Because if you start like right out of high school, you're like 18 years old, you're dating, you don't have to take anything completely serious, but you should focus on one man at a time. You can't date several men at once, right? It doesn't matter how many men you date, but you can't date multiple men at the same time as a woman and dare think that you're going to have success, not as a woman.
Well said,
Right.
Trey.
Yeah,
Well
I agree that both
said,
can be
Trey.
true. I think it can be a little bit difficult if you're trying to start a family in college. But I think both can be true. I just think that, well, for me, I will say too, I don't really agree with people getting married too early, just because I think that, I mean, relationships take experience, it takes wisdom, it just takes a lot to make a relationship work. And I think that the more experience you have, the better your marriage, the better chance you'll have a marriage. So I don't see anything wrong with people getting married at like 30.
I completely disagree with what you said, Joy. And the perfect person to really use as a case study would have been Sir Hale, because he got married to his wife out of college. He got married to her when they were like 20 or 21 years old.
Wow.
And they've been together for 20 some odd years. So no, I actually think it's better when you get married younger, simply because
it never works.
Joy,
excuse me. No, it works better when you're younger, simply because you're not worried about the body count. The two people can pair a bond so much easier when you don't have the same level of bodies. And hold on,
women don't have to have a whole body count.
And let me finish my point real fast. Is that plays a huge role, and when it comes to compatibility. And he plays a huge role when it comes to compatibility. That's why, back in the day, they always talked about that you want to marry virgins and whatnot. One, obviously, because of when it comes to parentage and whatnot, and there was no DNA test back then, but also it has to do with, how the two people pair bond, especially with the woman pair bonding with the man. That's always a huge thing. The other thing I want to challenge you on as well is you're talking about, I want to take a different spin on what Trev said. I agree with everything he said 100%, but the other spin on it to me is I want to speak about race, because it seems to be white women have never had an issue finding a husband when they're getting education. Latino women have never had an issue with that. Asian women have never had an issue with that. Any other nationality in this country have never had an issue finding a man when they're in a doctoral program, when they're going to law school, when they're doing their secondary education, when they're getting their advanced degrees, or when they're working. Only Black women in this country primarily have had the biggest issue with getting an education and dating for their husband at the same time. And I hear it time and time and time again. It's 99% Black women that say this, that they can't do both. They can't date and do school or get an advanced degree or work this corporate job and find a man at the same time. It is ridiculous, because every other background and nationality makes that a priority. They prioritize dating. They prioritize finding their husband when they're in their junior year, senior year of college, when they're in grad school, when they're getting their masters, when they're getting their MBAs, when they're getting their JDs. they are prioritizing finding their husband. And that is taught within their household from their mothers. Their mothers pour that into them like crazy about how to be a wife, how to be a housewife, and also how to find your man. A lot of women, we used to say this in the South a lot of women went to school to get their MRS degree. That's called getting your Mrs. degree, trying to become a wife. And college is the perfect place to find your man, because that's someone that you're building up with who is already qualified, who already has the educational background that you need, someone that you've already had time to date, that you know that's kind, that's loving, and cares about you. And that's someone that you want to build with and build a family with and build whatever empire you're trying to build with. That is a lot of strength in that. I'm not saying it's the only way to go, but that makes it a lot easier going that way. And there's not a lot of guesswork when it comes to the quality of people out in the world versus when you're dating somebody when you're 35 and 40, already been in your career, already made your money, and now you're looking down on the guys that don't make as much money as you do, trying to figure out where they've been and the quality and the stock of that person.
Hey, Joy, I want to say something really
I
quick.
can agree with that. I don't think it's I was just going to say I can agree with that. I don't think career and school is an excuse to not be able to start a family.
Yeah, Joy. I want.
Perfect. I'm gonna let you go ahead, and then we gotta wrap it up. So
Yeah, I just wanted to say one last thing really quick. Yeah, just really quick, bro. It's really simple, Joy. It's very simple, actually. So you keep saying what you want. You know, you keep going back to like, I want to get married at this age. I want these things. I think this is okay. I. Honestly, who puts the ring on your finger, Joy? The man puts the ring on your finger. So because the man puts the ring on your finger, honestly, it doesn't matter what you want. You need to do whatever men want. So if men want younger women, you should have got married younger. If men want women that are submissive or something, if men want a woman that's 30 years old, but she's going to come cook and clean for you or something like that, you need to do what they want, because honestly, the man is the prize. If you want marriage, it's like you keep bringing up marriage, you have to act right to get the ring on your finger. The man is the prize. The man is the gatekeeper of relationships. And the biggest problem for women today is they think they're the prize, or they think they're going to decide what they want. It honestly doesn't matter what you want. You keep saying you keep saying all this stuff. It doesn't matter. You need to start thinking about, what does that man want? It doesn't matter what you want.
Well, I wouldn't say I agree with that, but it's just my opinion.
yeah, we're gonna have to continue that conversation right there. We're gonna probably get y'all back up there so y'all can finish that one. All right, Joy. Appreciate
Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good question. Good questions, Joy.
Bye.
All right, my fault, fellas. Trying something new. It was nice. My apologies for keeping y'all up so late.
Oh, good.
Good change up. It was a good change up. Yeah.
All right, for the people that stuck around, my cameras, for some reason, I don't know, man. I doing some recording last night and it's just been acting up. I don't know what's going on. Won't connect. Anyhow, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight to King Talk. Yeah, make sure y'all support everybody on the platform. Purple Pill, B Madden, Trey Smooth, Shan, Sir Hill, Jay Stanza. Who I miss? Sean Antonio. Yeah, make sure y'all support everybody. Yeah, Sean Antonio was on there. Yeah, if y'all want to reach out to him or something like that, just go back and rewind and you can see their social handles by their name. Other than that, great show. I want to thank everybody that called in, all the contributions. Let me get through these last 3 super chats. Bob 199 says Steve. I think I read that. Steve Shots actually got that.
Yeah, you read that one.
Luis, what's going on, brother? 1999. People are emotionally cheating more than physically cheating. From what I experienced, people are looking for a connection that take them away from their reality. Why do you think some men pay strippers to listen to them? John the Baptist flat out says men recognize women have no power but the power men give her. Thank you guys for your contributions. Hit the like button. Also make sure you subscribe to the channel. And lastly, shout out to the sponsor, T-Channel, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men, 30% off along the free gift. The link is in the description. And we out. Thanks you, fellas.
Hello, my.
Oh, wrong one. Wrong one.
Have a good night, JR.
You too.
Peace out.
Purple. Take care.
All right, man. It's too early. I can't believe it's time to get up already, but that's okay. A man's morning routine is everything. The first thing I do is I head to the washroom. My focus, brushing my teeth, my beard, and my skin. Tej Hanley, uncomplicated skincare for men, has changed my life. The face wash, the scrub, the super serum, the eye cream, the AM PM moisturizer has people giving me compliments left and right about my skin. At the beginning of each week, twice a week, I massage the scrub into my face and then I rinse. Every other day, I use the face wash. I put it into the palm of my hands and I spread it evenly across my entire face and my head. The Tej face wash keeps the pores clean and also removes all oil. My favorite part about Tej Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really make the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin easy. And because Tej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description, and not only will you get Tej Hanley for the best possible price, but they also give you a free gift with your first box. Click that link and get started today for just $30.
It's the last track, family. I want to
say thank you on behalf of Lapeef Network. Hit that like button, also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching. If you're just tuning in, you're late. Catch the replay. Y'all be safe out there.